viewpoint.
Also, the
Unfortunately.
last episode didn't have the last episode had a cold open, and this episode didn't.
That's true. Are we cold opening? Is that why you're asking
However,
this?
this live stream does have a cold open.
Oh,
I got you
your
again.
fixation continues.
I
You're like
got you
Orman with
again.
your smells, but it's cold opens.
Fixation with a fun, interesting opening to a live stream that isn't.
Interesting, I think, would be
Are
a
we
stretch.
ready? Are we live?
Oh wait, I need to adjust the screen. There we go. Pop you up. Hello everyone. Welcome to yet
Hi.
another Fantasy Haven live stream. It is me, the late Lord Haven. Today, I'm going to be discussing episode 4 of season 3 of House of the Dragon, entitled Tumbleton. I am here with the one, the only, what's like a good descriptor for you? The magnanimous. Oh my god, we had that at the same time. The magnanimous Quinn, the GM. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm not doing well because of the match last night.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
My condolences.
Argent Cheetah. Yeah.
I don't know.
20
That one I thought was kind of above board.
Did you watch the first half?
Over
20
partially.
fouls.
I was video editing.
Over 20 fouls. They were pulling on us. They were beating us up. Messi
Sure.
started to Kristen Cole,
The
Harry Kane.
ever-oppressed English.
Yes, no, this is the only time we've had the world rooting for us. The only time anyone supported the England team was so that we could take out Argentina and, by extension, FIFA.
Yeah.
Now I'm rooting for Spain. Come on, Spain. Come on,
It's
Spain.
what, Sunday? But it's like Sunday afternoon, so it won't luckily interfere with Hot D.
Exactly. Unlike the Mexico game, which happened during Hot D. Oh my god.
Yes.
Anyway, why are we talking football? We're being watched by nerds. They don't watch sports. They
That's
watch
a good point.
dragon shows.
Everybody watches the World Cup, in my experience.
That's true. And America did put
What do
on
you
a
think of this
good showing.
episode?
Yeah, should we talk about the episode? Okay, so
Bad title.
I mean, it's
Throw
not
that out there.
It's not a bad title. It's a neutral title. It's
I'm
like
getting season
Tumbleton.
2 flashbacks.
Okay, the issue with season 2 is that it was 2 single word titles in a row. Regent, followed by Small Folk, was terrible. Tumbleton.
I also feel like there would be episodes in the future that would be better entitled Tumbleton. But I don't want to spoil things.
No, that is true. Or that just have the word Tumbleton in the title. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. So not the most ingenious title. But in terms of the episode, I really liked this episode as a sort of calm after the storm setup episode. Basically, we've had episode 1 be the big battle, and then the episode 2 be the climax. We've talked about this to death. It's essentially episode 9 and 10 of the previous season. Episode 1 was like an interesting introductory conceptual episode, and now we have the whole properly setting up the conflicts to come. As that kind of episode, I thought it was really good. I thought it was a great episode. I really like the individual scenes. I like the dialogue, etc. I like what's being set up. It's just very concerning that we're getting this kind of setup in the mid-season episode.
At the halfway point.
Episode 4 of an 8-episode season. That's a little bit crazy. I think
it felt very standard mid-season Game of Thrones episode, and I quite liked that. And it is, the fact that last episode could have been the season premiere. I keep thinking about that and how cool it would have been as a season premiere, and that is obviously, troubling me, but judging this episode on its own in a vacuum, really, really like it. And the more I've thought about it, and with my rewatch earlier this week, I've grown to like it even more, I think, even though I am willing to admit I am heavily biased in its favor based on what it's showing us.
Yeah, because you know, not every episode needs to be a big battle episode. Not every episode has to be conceptual. It's good to have a big intake of breath as we lay the road out before us, and we establish certain characters and we set up storylines. This is important. I don't know in terms of rating it out of 10. I'm not sure where to put it, because after my first initial watch, I was like, this feels like a solid 8 out of 10, just like a good episode. I didn't really have a major issue with any scene. I'm gonna go with a low 8 for this one.
I think I'm in a similar boat. The more I've thought about the first couple episodes of the season, the more they've fallen in my eyes. I think episode 1 of the season I initially said was like a 7 or an 8. I think it's settled down to about a 6 for me. Episode 3 I said last week was a 9. That is still there. I think it is very impressive with what it sets out to accomplish, and I think it does that very well. This one, I think if I'm trying to be objective, it's a 7. But in terms of my personal preferences, it's an 8, because they're doing Griff and young Griff. and that is appealing to me because it's the best, and they didn't do it in the show originally.
You know, we're developing a reputation for just circle jerking and agreeing with each other, not having any debate or arguments. I can't
It's
argue.
okay.
No,
It's all good.
I can't argue against the young Griff thing now. I'm with you now. I'm with you.
So clear. Like,
It's
this is
John
exactly
Connor's
what's
young Griff,
happening.
and there are more feast themes in this episode that we'll
Yes.
go into later. I'm with you. I'm with you. I like to be a contrarian, but I'm afraid I have to be on your side. Another boring stream, everyone. We're gonna fucking agree with each other. Also, can I just say, the thumbnail. I showed you this thumbnail like a couple of days ago,
Yes.
and you liked it. You didn't feel the need to point out that I fucking spelt Tumbleton wrong?
What?
Everyone in the chat. God damn it. Everyone in the chat.
I did not.
destroying me.
I've been looking at it for this entire stream, and for probably 20 minutes beforehand. Tumbleton.
Have you not heard of the market town of Tumbleton?
Tumbleton.
Tumbleton. Okay, I will. Change...
I think you should keep it as it is. I think it's great.
I don't have a choice because I have the thumbnail in the video.
I was gonna say I tried to edit the text, but that is an image.
God damn. Okay, you know what?
That's fantastic.
I will change the video thumbnail, but I can't change this section. You know what?
Don't change the thumbnail. Keep it as is.
I
Wear
probably,
your shame.
I'll actually get more comments if I keep it as is.
Exactly.
I'll get a load of people correcting me, and then it's good for the algorithm. I win. Anyway, yes. So good episode. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, there's a new part of the intro which I didn't realize because I skipped the intro.
We have this discussion every week. Why do you skip the intro? The music
because I am a human being who will die someday and who only has a limited amount of time on this earth.
The song is a banger. The intro changes every time, whether it's in Game of Thrones.
Not every time. This season it's been more frequent, but last season it was infrequent.
And even in Game of Thrones, you go to different parts of the map. Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. These are this is the one, arguably the only show where you like need to watch the intro. You're insane. Like even if it was the same, it's just fun to watch it. You know what I mean? The war drums
to be Samwell Tarly in the intro.
This is Samwell Tarly being seduced by
Corlys?
by Corlys. Okay, yeah. So what the fuck's going on in this?
It's Torrhen. That's Torrhen Manderley.
I agree. That's Torrhen. On the left, I've heard Corlys because of the.
It has to be Corlys. The hair
and the pauldron on the shoulder.
That too.
So why is it Corlys whispering in Torrhen's ear?
I don't want to spoil it, but the romance arc between the two of them in the upcoming episodes.
Spoilers. That's season 4. That's season 4.
It's a bit of this is from the book, but I think they're alluding to that.
This is the erotic spin-off of Fire and Blood written by Alan Moore. No, I don't like most of the time they're like, okay, big major climactic historical event in the tapestry, Jace's death, Battle of Rook's Rest, death of Shrakaloha, Torrhen Manderley being talked to. Like, why is he here? A scene hasn't happened that's led to this yet. And what could happen that would be so climactic it's in the fucking tapestry? Like, what am I missing here?
I don't know.
Someone's saying...
I also feel like I'm missing something.
All right. Anyway, yeah, but I do like the tapestry change. And you know what else is interesting? Episode 1 and 2, the tapestry doesn't tear apart. Episode 3 and 4, the tapestry tears apart. I'm thinking yet another thing separating season 2 and 3, right? It's almost, you imagine that the season 3 intro was planned to be, this is when the tapestry starts tearing.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I wouldn't be surprised if by season 4, like, we've got flames and shit and just the tapestry being destroyed to represent the anarchy
just
within Westeros.
Tatters going from one to the other.
Yeah. But yeah, next up, we finally see, well, a wonderful brand new location in Westeros. Tumbleton, the market town of Tumbleton to the south of King's Landing and to the north of the Reach. Yeah.
Definitely thought the rabbit was going to get shot when we saw it in the intro. Also, looking through... Actually, never mind. There was something I thought we should address here since we don't have a slide for it, but I do think there's a better slide for it generally. I do really like the look of this town. It is described in the books as a market town, as you said. It doesn't really have any great defenses or anything. It looks like there are kind of some walls going on there, but not really anything substantial. I also like that this perspective on the town that we see with the rabbit is the same place where Hugh lands later on Vermithor. So it's kind of recontextualizing that location, and we'll probably return to it to see Hugh and Ulf keeping watch. But I do think it looks pretty good. It's not a desert like King's Landing in season 8.
No, yeah, remember that King's Landing surrounded by nothing but desert. Yeah, no, it's definitely it's certainly dustier. It's quite
Yes.
sort of dusty and sort of Mediterranean. And I never had the Reach as Mediterranean in my head, but in the show they've always had the Crown Lands and the Reach as being quite Mediterranean inspired. So it's logic.
Mm.
Sorry,
The
it's
Reach is France to me,
Oh yeah, the Reach is southern France, like warm, sunny,
aka the American South.
fertile lands. Yeah. And it's more Mediterranean-y in the show, and like they're being consistent with the visual language from Game of Thrones. Okay, fine. And it is distinct from King's Landing, and it is it's nice to just see something different.
Yeah, and apparently they built this town, which is quite cool.
The behind the scenes is incredible. I recommend, if anyone hasn't seen it, I recommend it. Watch the what's it called? House That Dragon
House
Made.
the Dragons built. I need to. I haven't seen this week's episode. I actually forgot about that.
I mean, that's funny because like they talk about Tumbleton. Like half
Oh,
of it is
really?
them talking about the making of Tumbleton and the inspiration for it, and like it's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. And
Yeah, that's the kind of behind the scenes shit I really like, as opposed to like the inside the episode things that I hate with a passion.
I feel like season 1 of House of Dragon had no behind the scenes, no deleted
Yeah, I mean,
scenes, no
some things come
outtakes.
out like as the season was airing, like the Viserys serving Targaryen realness thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I do. How can I? How can I forget that? How can I forget
I
that?
miss Viserys, man.
I do. Give us.
I was making the video that came out earlier today, and I like used an image of Viserys, and I miss the guy.
Miss that guy. I don't know how he's the father of any of his children. None
Yeah.
of them look anything like Paddy Considine.
But yeah, what do we got next?
Oh yeah,
Unless you have more Tumbleton.
Callum in the chat saying the Reach doesn't seem Mediterranean to me. It seems more like southern France. All right, shut up, Cal. Shut the fuck up. Listen, you know what? Fuck it. You know what? Never mind. Oh, before we move on, I do want to say,
Applaud your restraint.
which dragon got cut so that we could have rabbit CGI for no reason?
Cannibal. That rabbit is the cannibal, actually.
Holy shit.
Actually, did you see Condell said on I saw it on Twitter. He didn't say it on Twitter that we might see wild dragons in season 4,
Yes, I did see him say that.
which I find quite cool. I think that's much
Cannibal,
more likely
Grey
to be
Ghost?
Grey Ghost than the cannibal, given certain future plot events. But
Grey Ghost has a specific thing he can do, but it's not really that necessary to the story.
yes,
And Cannibal does nothing necessary, but does
except Aura Farm.
Aura Farm, but is symbolic.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Right, moving on to the next slide, and there'll be more Tumbleton stuff to talk about later. But and we have another look at Ormond Hightower. I do want to clarify. I am at some point in the future. I will be selling Hightower bathwater on fantasyhavenmerch.com. So just check that out in the description, and you can grab yourself a tub. It's only going to be $5. Trust me.
Doing the Daenerys season 3 bit with Dario.
Holy shit, he is. He's also doing a bit of Geralt of Rivia, Witcher 3.
Little bit. We got the Lord Footley here, who was a dwarf in The Hobbit. I didn't realize.
Yes, he's the
That's
guy
a
with
cool little bit of crossover.
Crossover with those crossed eyes. No, he's a very cool character actor. I will quickly shout out the only Flippy for making that beautiful bathwater meme. I do want to shout out Flippy. But yeah, no. So far we've seen Ormond in a really reserved, restrained manner, right?
Mm-hmm.
In episode 1, he's very guarded, right? We're only seeing him for like a couple of minutes. He's very sort of cold and calculating. Episode 2, he's actively.
Episode 2, he's invisible.
He's lying. He's performing.
He's not in episode 2.
Oh, you're right. He's invisible. Episode 2. Episode 3, he's LARPing as someone who's surrendering. You could say.
I think if anybody is LARPing, it's fake Darren.
No, that's a good point. But no, in the second one, he's just like putting on an act. This episode, we actually properly meet him. This is our proper introduction of Ormond. And he is glorious as far as I'm concerned. He's fun.
Agreed.
He's campy. He's villainous. He's threatening. He's intimidating. He's fun. Yeah.
We'll get to this, I assume, more when we get to like the last scene of the episode. But I've seen people complain about Ormond and say like they character assassinated him or something.
Yeah.
I don't super get that in terms of like I don't know. I feel like everything he has said and done is not only consistent with itself, but consistent with the like 3 lines of text this guy is in the history book. And I also think it's a very interesting direction for a villain in the cultural environment of Westeros. And I think it's something we haven't seen a ton
Yeah.
of, save for the High Sparrow, kind of. But that's kind of two opposite ends of religious
Yes.
extremism, being like populist versus the elitist. And it's so cool to see and explore. And I'm really excited to do that. And like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get the complaint with Ormond in terms of him being like, I don't know, cartoonish or anything. 'Cause I don't really think he is. I think he's been very interesting so far. You can get the sense he's like got a little bit of a simmer going at any point, and it could just boil over whenever.
That sounds like a great video idea for you, by the way. Comparing the High Septon with Show Ormond, maybe once
That is a great idea.
Once
I might do
season,
that.
once the season's done, and we get a full picture of Ormond. No, we'll talk more about, I guess you could say, the ideology behind Ormond when we talk about the last scene. But yeah, no, they've made him, instead of just having Otto Part 2, you know, someone who cares about personal ambition, power, bloodline on the throne, they've given him a whole other sort of cultural, borderline ethnic supremacy angle, which is so fascinating and something we don't actually usually see in these characters.
Save for Daemon, who's
except for Daemon,
exactly the opposite.
He's the opposite. Oh, that's another good idea. Ooh, Valyrian supremacist versus
First men. Or wait,
slash
Hightowers
first
are
man.
first men, right? Or
Okay,
are they?
We'll get into this. We'll get into this later, but his supremacy is very muddled because it doesn't make any sense. Because
well, all
he's
philosophies
promoting...
like that don't make any sense.
Oh no,
that's,
that's the point. It's like he's, you know, it's muddled and hypocritical and nonsensical, which is what makes it so great. Because of course it is. But like culturally, he's like an Andal supremacist. But ethically, the Hightowers are first men. But then my guess is, I bet there might be a moment where you know, he might be like, oh, the Northern savages are joining the Tully host, and Daeron's like, aren't us Hightowers like first men? He's like, shut up, shut up, that doesn't count. Or there are some maesters, and people can find out more about this when I drop the animated history of House Hightower either this week or next week. Some maesters say the Hightowers actually belong to a group that came before the First Men that settled on the Whispering Sound. So there might even be a scene where Ormond's like, we became, we're our families.
We are the real First Men.
Yes, the real First Men. But anyway, we can get into all that weirdness later on. I thought this was just a great scene for him. Like you said, the Daenerys, like kind of like showing confidence in his nudity. Not just showing confidence, which is what Daenerys did, where she's kind of like, you can't intimidate me. It's beyond that. It's actively intimidating the other person. Like standing naked in front of the lady and slowly drying himself and basically being like, I own this place. I own you. Don't step out of line. You know, I
do also want to say this does confirm that Lord Footley is Dario, but I'm sure we can get into that in another video as well.
I don't even want to I don't even want to dignify that.
What's up next?
What is up next? I will quickly say before we move on. Let me just double. Wait, okay. Before we move on, I do want to say this is also our first proper introduction to Daeron.
Yes, good point. Do we have a slide for that, or is that just...
We don't. It's part of this scene because he's standing in there. But like, considering how much he's been built up, he doesn't have a proper intro here. He's just kind of... He's introduced as though the viewer has already worked out that the squire...
a few my princes. And I think it's really cool, and I like it. It's not like, you know, second screen viewing.
Yeah, but I
like season 5 Stranger Things, where they're all like explaining everything 20 times.
Wait a minute. You're the prince. Huh? Yeah, no, I like... Oh, we'll talk about Daeron later, because I do want to bring up his hair and shit, but, you know, we'll get to that. There's a lot to talk about in the final scene, actually. But yes, we travel back to King's Landing. For fuck's sake.
We see Orwyle officially appointed to the council, which is a change from the book. In the book, Rhaenyra imprisons Orwyle for, you know, her rule. And this is interesting, and I like it, because Orwyle is a character we've had development with for the past couple seasons, and I think he's been very fun in what we've seen of him. I loved him this episode, especially. And he's a good presence to have at court in Rhaenyra's growing council.
Oh, yeah, and as I mentioned before, it would be a waste of the actor to just be like, you're going into the black cells, you're in prison. It's like, no, they're bringing him on.
Imagine wasting an actor by putting them in prison for an extended period of time and then having them come back for just like an episode.
Before losing their head, that would be absurd. They wouldn't do that to any major character. But yeah, no, I'm actually quite enjoying Orwyle. this season. Like, he's such a little snake.
Yeah.
And he's just clinging on to power and being like, I'm just going to be loyal to whoever's currently sitting the throne.
I think it's less clinging on to power and more trying desperately to survive.
Oh, clinging on to his life then, in that case. By just playing,
which I quite like, and I think it's very realistic.
He's like, hey, look, I'm just a neutral maester. Because I don't think he's like a fervent Team Green person. He's just like, he's not neutral, but he's like, hey, I'm the maester. I'm just going along with whoever's in power. Let me help you.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
He does advocate for Rhaenyra a bit in the Green Council. He's not like as fervent as Beesbury is. Obviously, he survives, but he does like agree with Beesbury when he's talking.
Yeah, the implication isn't that Allwire was in on the plot. It's more that, like, as the plot unfolds, he goes, oh, okay, yeah, okay, this is happening then. I'm the Grand Maester, I'm just going to go along with it.
And I do think Rhaenyra, like, not imprisoning or executing him does, you know, help her image and her PR, because, like, last Targaryen to really execute, you know, maesters or the High Septon, which we'll get to later, is not a particularly popular one.
In fact, I don't have a specific slide for that Allwire scene, so we can talk about it now. For Allwire, do I?
The 13th slide.
Okay, in that case, we'll get to that when we get to that. Grand Maester Cersei.
Yeah.
Scheming. But yeah, no.
What else? This was just continued discussion of Ormond, and we see a new Kingsguard behind her. Adrian Redfort, who is a house in the Vale, I believe. We'll get more Vale later this episode.
Yeah, he kind of comes out of nowhere, doesn't he? Like, is the implication that he was at court the whole time, or was he a hostage, or has he come down from the Vale, or like, I did want a scene where like there was a proper like, because it looks like she doesn't have a full Queen's Guard, because what's happened?
No, just him. We see this episode.
In the last 2 episodes, she's like consolidating power. She's building her council, building her Queen's Guard. I'm fine with things coming in piecemeal, but I would have liked just one scene of, I'm Sir Adrian. I've sailed from the Vale to support you since you took the city, and I'm here to swear myself to you, because he's just there.
Or like if he came in, if he wasn't in this scene, and we saw him enter like with Daemon when Daemon came back from the Vale, I think that could have made a lot of sense as well.
He's riding behind Daemon, arms around his belly.
Exactly.
Clinging on for dear life. Ah!
Or just like sailing with the gold that Jane Aaron sent. Because I assume 10,000 gold dragons might not fit on Caraxes just based on carrying capacities.
But did you not see all the sacks on Caraxes' back? You're telling me several tens of thousands of gold coins can't fit in 5 bags? You're crazy.
Sorry.
Everyone in the
D&D players.
Everyone in the chat is screaming Captain Price. Yes, we need to address it. He's played by the guy who does Captain Price in the remakes of Modern Warfare.
I have not.
Soap.
Seen, played.
Soap. I haven't played the remakes. I played the original.
Got it.
Modern Warfare trilogy, but like I haven't played the new stuff. But he's the motion cap and voice actor for Price, which is pretty fun.
Also the balls. We haven't talked about the balls.
Officer Balls.
I am sad that the balls are gone. I liked the balls.
I like the balls, apart from when they were used as a means of killing Beesbury, which is still,
I agree,
probably one of the worst parts of this entire show.
Chekhov's balls.
Chekhov's balls. And they are kind of pointless, where it's like,
also describes the quality of that scene.
Yeah. But yeah, they are kind of pointless in terms of in session. This shows that I'm here. So I know you're here because you're sitting down here. But I did like it as like a fun little, like there's a different color that correlates.
It gave it like a tactile feel to these.
Yeah, scenes. You could have the excuse me. You could have the actors playing with them. Aegon using it as like an ADHD fidget toy. Different colors to denote.
Harris trying to grab Tylands.
Yeah, Tyland about to be turned into a pony. No, yeah, the way they rolled them to each other. No, I did like, and Rhaenyra was just like, fuck this, I don't need balls. Who's gonna? Are we gonna see the Iron Throne stripped down to how it is in the main show during Hot D? Is there gonna be a moment where Rhaenyra's like, get rid of all the spikes?
Probably not.
No, I don't know. We can assume that's something that happens later on. But
my guess, just broad view of history, I think if a Targaryen king did that, probably Baelor. But that's just my opinion on him being a wet blanket.
Maybe. Don't diss my boy Baelor like that.
Baelor is one of my least favorite kings.
No, he's the GOAT.
I did a video a while back. What was it? Maegor, the best, worst Targaryen king. And I do want to do a sequel on Baelor being the worst, best Targaryen king.
Based. Let's go.
Thank you.
Before we move on,
Mm-hmm.
There's a very important line here where either Mysaria or Rhaenyra, I can't remember, they say, the small council is too thin. And so their solution to it is to get a fat ass Manderly.
Yes, that was Rhaenyra saying that, and then Mazaria's suggestion to add Manderley to the count, or add a new Master of Coin.
I did a fat joke. It was really funny
Yeah.
because the council's too thin. Yeah, no, let's move on. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see Manderley later because he is incredible.
It does seem to be something Martin does fixate on with Manderleys specifically.
They all have
like
to be
anytime a
fat.
Manderley is described in the histories.
They're all genetically fat. None of them has gone on a treadmill.
No, even though some of them are knights, apparently.
None of them are biohacking. Crazy. Yeah, some
I
of them
actually
are outright
really liked
knights.
this Alicent scene.
This was a you know I complain about Alicent all the time more than you do.
Oh, I do. I have to endure it.
Yeah. Just to mix it up, I just want to clarify how great of an actress Olivia Cook is. And
There you go.
the only
That's
the only thing that allows me to cope through Alicent scenes, despite how they butchered and boringified her character, is Olivia Cook's performance. It's incredible. She's fantastic. Much love to her. And
really
yes,
good characterization for her, for Gwaine, and for Ormond in this scene. I felt like the one little line of like Gwaine often thinking people were cruel, which that's just like so good. Like it's such a little line, but it tells us so much.
and it's also so interesting that it's like, what are your thoughts on Ormond? And she gives Gwaine's opinion on Ormond
Mm-hmm.
and not her own.
Which I think is very much kind of, it's a little shade of season one Alicent, I feel. Like earlier season one Alicent, where she felt she couldn't really do anything of her own accord.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I can't give my opinion. This is my brother's opinion. Plus, it could also speak to just the fact of Gwaine and Ormond probably spent more time together. They probably trained together. They probably studied together. Alicent probably studied with other girls.
God,
and
poor
with boys.
Gwaine.
Poor Gwaine, man. Yeah. So that was nice. The only, in fact, I like this scene too. The only aspect I didn't like so much is the kind of reiterating the Daeron stuff, where Alicent's like, oh, I'm glad I sent him away. So he could become a high tower, and like he's come out the best of all of them. I felt like all of this stuff was dealt with in that scene in season 2 between Alicent and Gwaine, but it was kind of, it was the subtext, whereas here it's just being explained. And I feel like
from a viewer's perspective, I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think it makes sense in the context of the scene, because I think I almost called her Olivia because you mixed it up. Alicent is trying to distance Gwaine. God damn it, too many names. Daeron from House Targaryen generally, and make him seem like this kind, gentle boy, to Rhaenyra, who very much has cause to kill him, and now thinks he's involved in whatever scheme Ormond is putting on.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I do want to quickly...
I read it as more manipulative than trying to necessarily, upend previous subtext.
And the bit where she says at the end, Ormond has a sensitivity to smells. Now, as the viewer, we already know that. We can infer that.
This is such a Chekhov's gun. He's going to get farted to death.
For fuck's sake. Like, this can't just be, I'm explaining a character quirk. Because I'm fine with the sensitivity smell just being a fun character quirk. But it's one thing to show it off. It's another to have a character actively explain it like it's important. It has to. What's Rhaenyra going to do? Shit on Ormond via Cyrax? Are they going to trebuchet?
That was one thought of mine. I wasn't sure, if birds and dragons had similar, tactics in that realm. Do dragons shit in flight?
And is the shit the color of the dragon scales? Is Caraxes just got bright red? I feel like we've had this discussion
they maintained
already.
that, but not the fire color.
I feel like we've had this discussion, or was this with someone else? Something about dragon shit being the like Tessarion has blue shit. Can you imagine?
We have not had this discussion because I do not want to entertain it any further.
Okay, of course I didn't have it with you. You're far too sensible, Quinn. I will quickly say before we move on to the next slide. I do want to say I forgot to say this at the start. Super chats. I'm not ignoring them. Thank you so much for all of them coming in.
He is. He doesn't care. He hates you.
They'll be read out at the end of the stream. This is how it works. We're doing non-spoilers discussing the episode. End of the stream, we're going to do a spoiler chat about a certain points of the episode. We're going to do predictions for future episodes. We're going to tick off our wonderful bingo. But before any of the
some of us are.
Well, yeah, it's over for me. But before any of the spoilery stuff and bingo stuff, I will read through all the super chats. So if you want to send them in to support the channel, ask a question, give your opinion, that means a lot to me. This is my job, and it helps me continue doing all these reviews and animation and live streams and stuff. If you want to send in a Streamlabs donation, link in the description. That's essentially, instead of donating through YouTube, you're essentially donating through PayPal. You don't need PayPal to do it either, I don't think. But yeah, I appreciate it a lot, and I'll be reading them out at the end. Thank you so much. There we go. Right. Dragon poo. No, let's move on. A helping hand.
Which also, I'm not sure if this is how Hand of the King works. Actually, wait, no, it exactly is. I've
Tywin.
seen this complaint on Twitter that, like, oh, I don't know if Corlys can just, like, appoint a sub to pinch hit for him. That's what Tywin does with Tyrion and Clash.
Tywin literally did this. He was like,
He
I'm
literally
off to
does
war.
this in the books. That's the subject of a book.
Yeah. The difference is, of course, is that Tywin appointed his legitimate son, whereas Corlys is appointing his bastard, which one of my patrons, Cal, pointed out is like almost like a power move, where he's like, oh,
Yes.
you're not going to legitimize him? I'm naming him as acting hand. Now you have a bastard in your council. I guess you're going to have to
You need to work on
legitimize
your
him.
spelling.
You know? Like, what did you say that again?
You need to work on your spelling.
Who?
It said helpling hand.
Oh. No, he doesn't.
Because I corrected it.
Oh, did you correct it? Okay.
Yes.
I was staring at your correction like I was insane. Like, what are you talking about? Guys, I was very tired when I made this presentation.
I also only changed a few of these, so
I hate
the good ones are mine.
I
the
hate you.
Errors are not.
I hate you with all my every fiber of my being, Quinn. What was I saying? Yes, it's like a power move, right? I'm naming my bastard's acting hand. Now you have a bastard on your council. You better legitimize him. You know, and it kind of feeds into this idea that when Corlys is having a strop, he has a strop. He's like, he gives a giant middle finger, and then he goes off and does battle. We saw it in season 1 where Viserys didn't marry his daughter Laena, so he was like, I'm gonna fight on the Stepstones.
I'm gonna go do a war.
Exactly. And now he's like, okay, you know, my sons are being shunned. You're shunning me by extension. I'm gonna hunt down pirates. And it's like, yeah, it's
Objectively, really cool thing to do.
Really cool thing to do, perfectly in character. Is it a shame that so far Corlys has not actually done any politicking, like any real handship? Like season 2, he gets given a hand the hand pin, does nothing. Like he just rocks up and says, grab a hold of yourself, council, and then disappears. Season 3, he gets named hand and is like, I defer to the queen. Like he doesn't actually do any hand stuff. We could have just had one episode of him giving political advice, but I guess they're just making the point that while he's been
of that attempted last episode.
Yeah, I mean,
well, she was ruling from the throne, but he was also not doing it well.
He was just criticizing everything she said very loudly.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. I would have liked, but I guess maybe the idea is he's appointed as hand because he's a key ally and Team Black want him on side. But that doesn't mean that he's like an Otto style man of the court schemer. Like he's like, I want to be on a ship. I want to be on a horse. I want to be fighting pirates. I don't want to be sitting in stuffy council chambers. So I'm just going to go and have a strop and fight against the pirates, which I like. Excuse me, sorry. I like the fact that there are more consequences to the Battle of the Gullet beyond Jace's death. Like there are pirates now raiding the continent. That doesn't happen in Fire and Blood. This is a nice change.
No. Also, we don't have a slide for it later on. I just checked. Alan and Rhaenyra's conversation, I really loved. It was one of the highlights of the episode for me. And I think it did a good job of, like, I don't know, them both reflecting on their fathers was very cool. I liked that. I really felt that, like, Alan, you know, was the brother of her first husband. And it felt like there was this, you know, relation and connection there. And also 100 cats.
Yes, you mother. The cats are in.
The cats are here.
Yeah, no, this slide was meant to be an extension of both this scene and also the later Alan scene. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That was a nice little moment. I was making this point earlier to my patrons, actually, that while I really like Alan's performance and character, like the kind of he's reserved and he's bottled up, but it's performed in a way that's actually like really entertaining. Like he's almost comically self-serious, and I think it plays really well against various characters. My only issue is that half of the cast are characters who are self-serious, and the issue
well,
that
all work so well, and Torrin.
Yeah, but they're the minority of characters.
Mm-hmm.
I want bigger Game of Thrones style, larger than life characters. Alan for me works as like the super self-serious reserved guy. Like he pulls it off great, but the problem is that he blurs into all the others, like Adam and Baylor, because you know But
Speaking of, though, another criticism I have is, like, Adam wasn't in this episode again. Like, what are
remember
we doing?
he had character in season 2. He was like he
Mhm.
was the carefree brother to the stuffy Alan, and like I liked that dynamic. They haven't
He's had 2
interacted.
lines this season.
I want the
In
brothers to
half the
like
season.
I want the brothers to have a chat. What happened to carefree fun Adam? He's just like a guy. He just stands there not doing it. He's like Baylor. He's just the male Baylor. Just stands there. He's just a
Actually, one
vacuum.
of the stills for next episode is 2 of them standing there next to each other.
I don't think my TV can take it. I think the charisma black hole will open up. Yeah, no, I need.
But they both have charisma is the thing. They're just not being
Oh yeah, no,
used right.
the actors do 100%, and we saw it from Adam in season 2. It's just they're not being given anything to do, and in a way
Also,
that
no Baylor's ghost this episode.
no, Baylor, yeah, because Baylor died in episode 1, her ghost has not appeared, to shake Rhaenyra up. Maybe we'll see that in the future.
I missed the gong.
Dong. I love the music that last episode.
It was really good.
Yeah. I was on that train from the beginning. The first dong caught me off guard, and I was like, "Oh, is this gonna work?" And then second gong onwards, I was like, "I see the vision. I love this. We're in her head." But yeah, hopefully, Alan on the council talking to Rhaenyra more will flesh him out more because he's a very
Yeah,
interesting character.
I think it will. I'm excited to see it.
And are we going to see the cats, or is that like a one-off wink to the audience of like, "Oh, Fire and Blood readers"?
I would guess that we'll see the cats. Given how much we've seen the rats, I have to think we'll see the cats.
You don't get to tick cats off your
Yes, I
bingo
do.
until
I
we see
absolutely
them.
do.
Until we see the 100 cats. You're not all 100, but until it's a thing.
Until we see a cat, I can't tick it off. I'm fine with that.
And yeah, there needs to be some cat nonsense.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
what did
fine.
you add to the background here?
Hmm? Oh, for the next one?
Yeah.
That's the Quentin is alive background.
Oh, yes, of course it is. You legend. Yeah.
Really liked this scene as well. It's Laris and Aegon have continually been a highlight of this season. This is also a draft thumbnail for my next video, which should be out over the weekend. The final version will be better than this. Really enjoyed it. It was interesting to see Aegon talking in High Valyrian when we know he didn't do that well last season and commanded Sunfire in English.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
But I really liked his moment of connection here. I like the way his head on Sunfire's is mirrored in Daeron and Tessarion at the end of the episode, and like him calling Sunfire his boy and Daeron calling Tessarion his girl. And yeah, I thought Laris's performance was really funny, like the holding up a finger and asking for a minute. Was quite cool. And also, I just love anything that hints at the deeper connection between the dragon and the writer, like Aegon tapping into this and sensing that Sunfire is alive.
Yeah, I think so far the show is genuinely nailing the tragicomedy of this specific subplot. It's working for me. And I did expect it from these characters, but I think it is working. And you're talking about the shots being mirrored. It's not just that; it's the faces are mirrored, even as in,
Yeah.
not between Aegon and Daeron, but Aegon and Sunfire. Like they both have that one side of their face, that's just kind of melted, that's messed
From the
up.
same blast of fire.
Yeah, like they are, and just and Sunfire's death is like a parallel to something dying inside of Aegon. Like he feels like a ghost. Speaking of, he feels like a dead man walking, and here's this rotting corpse that kind of represents what's inside of Aegon. A bit like how later on Tessarion represents what's inside of the repressed Daeron when he snarls at Ormond after getting insulted. The dragons and their riders have their two souls in one, or their one soul in two, rather.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. And I think it's a really cool connection to make, and I think that'd be an interesting subject to explore further, like the way the dragon reflects the inner life of the rider. And it does make me wish we saw more from other dragons. Like Team Green's dragons have been excellent so far and are really well used in that regard. Caraxes, I think, is pretty well used in that regard, and Sheep's Tealer, and we'll get to their scene later. But like Cyrax is kind of just a prop. Dreamfire we haven't seen in 2 seasons. I hope we see more of that going forward, especially with now like Hugh being under pressure at Tumbleton. Will we see Vermithor acting out at all?
Yeah, like Caraxes is doing all the heavy lifting for Team Black. in terms of
Yeah.
dragon personality. Um,
Also, I think Silverwing, in what little we've seen of her, has had a good amount of personality.
and actually, I think Vermithor does have a bit of a thuggish vibe, actually. Like when we see
Yeah.
him in season 2 and his kind of jaws swinging a little bit, and then season 1, and then season 2 embracing Hugh, where they scream at each other. There is a kind of
Mm.
there's a thuggishness to Vermithor, but yeah, I want to see more. We want to see
Who
more.
who do we think is Vermithor bigger than Sheepstealer? I think so, but I
Yes,
think they're close.
yeah, I think so. I think Vermithor is meant to be the second largest of all of them. Oh
Yeah.
no, no, Cannibal was probably in the top 3. How big?
Cannibal's probably as I would say probably smaller than Vagar, but probably bigger than Vermithor.
Yeah,
I would love to see like a end of this season, like a CGI dragon like reference sheet from like a behind the scenes thing, just to compare.
people want me to do every dragon explained, and it's like my dragon characters are so badly drawn that I'm too scared. I'd need to do a big redraw
They're
because
great. They're better than I would do.
they're terrible. They're fucking awful. Um,
I also like that one family has like turned Sunfire's corpse into a tourist trap.
I was gonna bring this up later, but I think I'll mention it now. That everything about Aegon's and Larys's plot, it reminds me of the classic A Song of Ice and Fire / Game of Thrones duo walking through the aftermath of war and a war-torn landscape, right? Arya and the Hound, Brienne and
Mm.
Podrick, Brienne and Jaime. Here we have unlikely duo Larys and Aegon. This is the aftermath of war, right? We have people surrounding a beautiful, glorious golden dragon and exploiting its corpse to make a quick buck. We have broken men and bandits basically abandoning the garrison and like some random guy called Janos like using the castle as his own fiefdom. You know, it's very
Mhm.
feast for crows.
Yes, it is.
And I'm with you there. You win, bro. It's feast for
Haha.
crows. You win. You
I do
win.
actually. I talk about that a bit in the video I have for this weekend about Aegon specifically, very much being at least his show journey paralleled with Jaime in a lot of ways, and I think that's why he's
Yes.
worked so well on a lot of levels with an individual who starts out so terrible. It's one of the most morally reprehensible, if not the most morally reprehensible person on the show, who goes through this, massively traumatic experience that completely alters them in a way that they cannot recover from. With Aegon, it's not only being burned, but this season losing his status, which we especially see this episode. And it's really interesting to see what lies underneath when all of that is stripped away and what becomes of Aegon and of Jaime. And I think Jaime's a lot of people's favorite character for a reason.
I think Damon's worse. Season 1, just
Yeah,
Damon.
I
Damon
would
murders his
agree
wife
with
in cold blood. Like,
Yeah,
although
yeah, it's
I
true.
won't get into it in this stream, but I do have my own Haven theory of the fantasy moral event horizon, which is that certain acts are considered worse in fiction, even if they're not considered worse in real life. And if you commit them in a fantasy show, or even just a TV show, work of fiction in general, you can't come back from it. Jaime can come back from trying to kill a child. Damon can come back from from murdering his wife.
Succeeding to kill his wife.
It's succeeding. But Aegon doing what he did to that maid is like goes beyond
Mhm.
a line
I think a
where
lot
like
of
you
it
can't bring him back.
a lot of it has to do with, like, how we as people engage with fiction. Like, I
Yes,
think in terms of daily lives and what seems real to us as
exactly.
people, I think that Aegon's act is something that a lot of us are able to grasp better because I think it is something that is unfortunately more common and that more people have experience with, as opposed
Mm,
to, like, fewer people beat their
yeah,
wives to death with a rock. Not to say
yeah.
that doesn't happen, but
Or like fewer people take out a sword and cut off someone's head. Like that's not really you're not gonna have
speak for
experience with
yourself.
that. Well, well. I'm scared for Harry the Heir now.
He is actually being really annoying and biting at my legs right now because he wants dinner. But if I feed him right now, he'll wake me up at 4 a.m.
Just to clarify, everyone, Harry is Quinn's boyfriend, right? Oh, Cat.
Yeah,
Oh, Cat. Sorry, my bad. I
my
just remembered.
cat.
Yeah.
Hello, Harry.
All right. Next slide.
Yes, next
Unless,
up. I love your caption here, and it is
yeah, yeah,
correctly spelled.
yeah. Mummy Alice opened the door and said, "Eamon can't play today. He's doing homework." Gwen and Kristen went,
That
"Oh,
posture is just very.
I know. It's
It
so.
works. It
It's
works.
it's perfect." Yeah. So we have Kristen Cole and his
Deciding to do a Lawrence of Arabia.
deciding to do a wait. Oh, what?
Right?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm not dissing you. I was
I
gonna
was
have
gonna say I
my
was checking with the Brit as to that
no.
correctness, but I
Oh
do
no,
know it's correct.
I was going along with that. I was gonna come up with my own one, and I could completely slipped my mind. Um, Fuck. Okay, I was gonna do another comparison to like okay. Let's move on. We'll try, anyway. But yes,
Oh,
Kristen
you're
and
saying
his
next slide.
Kristen and his Crownland army.
Mm-hmm.
They rock up to Harrenhal, and we see what appears to be now essentially the Lady of Harrenhal. Alice is no longer dressed as a common, uh,
She's wearing Sir
maid.
Simon's clothes.
Yeah, she's been rifling through Simon's drawers and found something cheeky at the back and went, I can slip into this. And yeah, two interesting things to note about what she's wearing. One, of course, is just she's clearly wearing noble clothing and she's LARPing as the lady. She's like, "Fuck you, Damon! I can make myself the lady."
I think
All
it
the
goes
Strongs
beyond
have been
LARPing
killed.
at this point. She's the only person alive in the castle.
That's true.
She
That's
can have
true.
it.
But also, as has been mentioned by other people online, she has a waist chain that's quite similar to Alison's waist chain in season 2. And
Oh, I hadn't heard that. That's
maybe it's coincidental.
concerning.
Maybe it's coincidental, but it could feed into this idea that
Uh-oh.
Alice is smart. She could probably she probably has visions. She can probably look into
She's
things.
read Freud. She knows how to work Eamon.
Yeah, she knows how to work. She knows what Eamon's into. She's slipping into his dreams. She's like, I know what to do with this boy. And Eamon is missing.
Also, with Alicent generally being invoked, it is worth noting that this is her brother and her lover looking for her son.
Yeah, and finding her son's other mother.
I should say, Game of Thrones, brother and lover being separate people, and also son and lover being separate people.
Oh man, but yeah, no,
Yeah, I really love this scene.
It was really good. I love Alice as actress, and really
Yeah.
really fun character. And the next time trailer completely trolled us, where like
Yes.
you hear Vagar's roar and she goes, "Oh my!" There's no roar. Vagar's just missing. Where the fuck is Vagar?
Which also, that's my one issue with this episode. Because, like, okay, assumedly, Aemond is still in Harrenhal. He's recovering from being stabbed by a Gormless son. Where is Vagar? Like, how do you hide a Vagar?
Isle of Faces, bro.
Maybe, but that's the thing. I don't know.
Isle of Faces.
I don't know if the Isle of Faces would abide Vagar being on it.
Imagine he's just like peeking out from behind like a tree, like that one meme of Shaq behind the thin tree. It's just Vagar, just like poking out, like they can't see me. Yeah, no.
If the right color could like maybe disguise as a hill. She could.
Like in Battle of Rook's Rest, with like lying on the forest floor, blending in. Bit camouflage.
Yeah.
I think
True.
Vagar could be hiding in
I
there.
loved that like shot of Vagar on the forest floor. That was my Twitter header for a while.
When Vagar's head goes down and like blows
like
out,
with the like exhale.
yeah, like when a dog is tired, and just goes. Yeah, no, it's yeah, and Aemond is probably in a room somewhere in Harrenhal, either being nursed to death or outright like a hostage. We don't know what Alice's plans are. We can talk about that in the prediction section. But yeah, she's like, Aemond, I don't even know who that is. Like, he's fled. He left, and Chris and Gwen are like, shit. He's left. He's a coward. He's fled. The last green stand is now comes down to especially considering the Boris Baratheon name drop earlier. The first time we hear
I was going to say I really liked that.
I would have liked to have heard about the Baratheons earlier, but yeah, they're dilly dallying.
Also, Ormond he mentioned Ormond not being able to read, which I thought was a funny bit of continuity.
He was like, send pictures next time.
Send one with pictures.
I was telling my patrons during our VC watch along, I was like, he's gonna send like a Mr. Beast thumbnail, bright colors, red arrow. Just like Ormond soy facing in the corner, like a big arrow pointing to Tumbleton, big red circle.
It's the right keep.
It's the but yeah, no, it's the Baratheons aren't moving. Kristen's army is now just stuck in the Riverlands where they're surrounded by enemies. The Hightower host has taken Tumbleton, but like Rhaenyra has more dragons. The Greens are kind of in a precarious situation right now, and so
I'd say beyond precarious.
Beyond precarious. And so Kristen
decides to do guerrilla warfare.
Yes, a Lawrence of Arabia, if you will. I don't know if you get that reference.
That's correct.
I can explain.
Also similar vibes between him and Gawain.
I think. Oh, that's it. I think I was going to make a Viet Cong reference.
Oh, that too.
That one's maybe a bit more messy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing it, and we can go in the spoiler section. We can talk more about the changes from
It
Fire
is
and
a
Blood.
change from the books, and I think it's a good one.
I think it's a very good one. Like, as in, this makes more sense. Like,
Agreed. Like
the
the way it plays out in the books does not make sense. Well, okay. I think it could have made sense for this Kristen Cole, who has been trying to die since season 1, episode 5. But otherwise, I don't think it makes sense.
in fact, I don't even think it's a spoiler to say. Basically,
Yeah, because it's not happening.
in Fire and Blood, Kristen leads his Crownland army to join
They just walk.
Ormond's forces in Tumbleton, marches down, and it's the Rivermen and the Winter Wolves who engage in guerrilla warfare. This time round, they're like, in the show, the Riverland army is bigger. They're marching down to Tumbleton to help Rhaenyra. We're the ones who should harry them, raid them, ransack them, slow them down,
We will
wear them
become
down.
wraiths.
Yes. They're gonna, and the thing is, that doesn't just protect them in terms of their army just being annihilated by the Riverland troops. It protects them from dragons because they're gonna like melt away into the fog and into the trees.
Like
and
the Dornish, which Kristen is.
oh, that's what I was gonna say. Dornish, not fucking Viet Cong. I guess Viet Cong are, there are parallels there, but like, yes, that I was gonna be like, yeah, exactly. And it's interesting
Also,
because go on.
I was gonna say this was referenced in the first season, but having United of the Seven Kingdoms as recent context made it click for me. Kristen and his father served Lord Dondarrion as stewards, not as hedge knights, but it's a very direct parallel to Dunk and Arlen serving the Dondarrions, and I think it's a very interesting kind of commentary on what these common individuals in the presence of princes can be driven to. Like
And
a
it's
dark mirror. I love it.
And it's interesting because obviously, that is a great comparison, by the way. But he is common born and he's up against the Dornish. So for him, guerrilla warfare is just another type of warfare. But to Gawain, and I want to see more of this, hopefully, maybe next episode, he probably thinks this is dishonorable.
Yes, I am 110% positive we will see that next episode, and I'm excited for it.
Because what is it Christian says? He says it's not clean, but it's pure.
Yeah.
He's like,
this is not. That's such a cool line.
He's like, this is not traditional warfare, but at the end of the day, it is warfare. It is heroic. It is noble, and I think it will create a split between the high class toff Gawain versus the common son of a steward Kristen. And I want to know. Okay, let's have a little Kristen chat because I want to know where his arc is going here because I found him to be quite a messy character, and I feel like. Is this him almost like abandoning his doomerism and going, hold on a second, sure, we're kind of screwed, but instead of just giving up on everything, which he's been doing the last 2 episodes, let me just quickly finish. Instead of giving up on everything like he's been doing the last 2 episodes, he's like, let's go out with a bang, let's throw everything we can into tearing down the Tully army, making a name for ourselves, building a legacy. We will go down as the people who threw everything we did everything we could with what little we had to help the green cause and to help Ormond and all that stuff. Like, has he flushed the black pills down the toilet?
I don't think so. See, I think this is actually incredibly consistent for Kristen because you have to consider the news he's just received as well. The Greens are not just in a bad position. It seems like Rhaenyra either is on the verge of winning or has won. And I think Kristen cannot abide that. I think that he cannot let Rhaenyra win because he hates Rhaenyra. It is his toxic core beyond him just, truly being black pill. And I think that he's found a way to thread the needle between these two philosophies because doing what he's going to do is not only incredibly risky and could result in his death, it also is much more likely to result in negative consequences for Rhaenyra. He's able to thread the needle to do something that is going to get him killed maybe, and maybe will also hurt Rhaenyra. He is resolving to take action because that is all he can do at this point, and I really like it.
But I feel like he isn't fully. But I feel like he isn't still embracing the whole life has no meaning, honor has no meaning. I've sullied my honor, so it's all just for nothing. I feel like him repeating Gawain's line from episode 1 back to him of we don't want to become beasts ourselves. I feel like that's him trying to claw his way out of that. And
Disagree.
But I think
I think
that
he was just playing Gwaine. Like, he knows he needs
okay.
Gwaine to agree to this and come along, and he's just throwing his words back in his face because he's a spiteful asshole.
See, I think it's up for debate, and it's why I think he's such a messy character. And I'm
Mhm.
like, am I struggling to read Kristen, or have the writers been a bit sloppy with him? I think it remains to be seen. Like,
Agree.
let's see what he gets up to next episode. Let's give him more scenes, and
That was my one thing. I think he needs more focus.
he needs more focus. And I want him to bring up Rhaenyra again, because
Yeah.
I swear, he only mentions Rhaenyra like 3 times after the time skip, and it's basically to just be like, she's a bitch. And it's like, I kind of want him to like actually reflect on Rhaenyra and what she means to him, and how she motivates him and his spite. Like, you know what I mean?
Wholeheartedly agree.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And like, we did get effectively one of those references this past episode, but like you said, it was just him like insulting her and moving on.
yeah, I want more. I want more. But yeah,
Yeah.
and
Which
just
also, I do think that reflects like in Kristen the fact that he's not really consciously or even able to confront this and his feelings towards Rhaenyra, that hate that is built up within. But I also think if he's pushed to the brink more, which I think he will be, we will get to see that, and I hope we get to see that.
I've always thought that Kristen was a show. Kristen was a fascinating conceptual character that hasn't been executed
Mm.
well. But I think a lot will be. Let's see how the rest of the season plays out. Let's see how his arc goes. Let's see what he gets up to. And
Yeah.
weekly reminder that Gwaine Hightower is played by a 37-year-old, because that's insane.
That is genuinely
That's
insane. He
insane.
looks like he could be like, I don't even know.
I mean, Freddie Fox, you know he's gotta have a great skincare routine.
Yeah. Speaking of,
Speaking of great skincare routine, I can't remember what the next slide is, so I'm not sure where you're going with this. Oh, yeah, very nice. Yes.
I will say Aegon's skincare routine must be fantastic given how quickly he's recovered.
After Sun, what do you think he's using?
At the Love Island after show.
The fact you know that is okay.
Really enjoyed this. It's a continuation of how far Aegon has fallen. I think it's fun to see him need to interact with individuals like this, and again, his instincts are all completely wrong because he's used to being a prince his entire life. I love Tom Tangletongue. He doesn't appear in the books until a little bit later than this, but him being with Aegon at this low point in his arc is really cool, and I really like it. I think they're going to have an interesting dynamic. I think it'll be, one of these newer friendships forged in Aegon's despair, and I think it'll be interesting to see him interact with characters who aren't just Larys for an extended period of time.
I'd be interested it's for him to interact with just commoners.
Yeah.
Like, the lowest
Yeah.
ranking person he's ever interacted with until now is probably like his friend Ned Waters, just a bastard at court. Like, that's probably the lowest station of person he's interacted with. Actually, no, that's not true, because he did have his role.
That is true. I saw people talking about that on Twitter. Like, he was in like child fighting pits with the commoners.
Yeah,
I
that's
should
true.
say watching, not in. He was not fighting in the pits.
I hate that whole subplot.
Agree.
Oh my god. Anyway,
In fairness, it's also in the book, and I hate it in the book too.
but in
I
the
do hate
book,
it.
it's up for debate. That's the problem. It's the mushroom,
True.
and you didn't have to adapt. The
Mushroom is always
one.
right.
No. If that's true, then we missed out on Jane Aaron last season, and maybe that was a good thing. Maybe it's good we didn't see that. But no, yeah, Tangletongue, super cute. Want to see more of him. This Janos guy, nice little mini boss, mini villain for this Aegon subplot. Have someone who's more of an asshole than Aegon, so that we root for Aegon and Larys. Here's my prediction, and I'm only saying this because Janos is not a character in Fire and Blood. Like,
But he has friends at court.
he's
Powerful friends.
It's nominative determinism, Quinn. If your name's Janos, you're a cunt. It's that simple.
I would say so.
My guess, just because none of this is in the book, my guess is that Aegon's going to take the golden scale he took from Sunfire, stab it in Janos's throat. That's what I think.
That would be so cool. That's such a good idea.
Right? Yeah, come on. There's no way he's not using that as a weapon. Come on now.
Yeah, that's so cool. I do hope he keeps it, though. I think it'd be a cool keepsake that
it would.
Could be fun in the future.
Wears around his neck.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're seeing... okay, I've got something I really like about this and something I really dislike. So what I really like is I've been complaining that Larys has sort of... doesn't seem to have had many tricks up his sleeve. Like, things just keep going his way conveniently. Like, oh, we're captured by the guards, and then I'm just going to, very quickly jump to plan B, which is, this is literally the king. I don't have any plan B on this. And then they get help, then pirates attack and they happen to get away, and it's all very much like the cunning Laris hasn't done any, like he's just lucking his way into these situations. This time
Mhm.
round, we see him actually use his wits, where he's like, "Oh, don't mob me. I'm a Septon, and you'll offend the gods."
Yeah.
And then when he comes into Rook's Rest, he's like, "I can read a bit," and you
And then
know,
Aegon's just like, "Yeah, I can read too."
yeah, and he's like, I know herbs, so I can help you cook and make medicine, and like I prove his usefulness." And you know, he's being obsequious. He's like, "Oh yes, my lord." Like he's being smart here. He's playing the game.
Mhm.
Aegon is not playing the game, which is funny, but it leads
He's never
into
had to.
it leads into my second criticism, which is I know it's a big culture shock for Aegon, but this is the second time we've had Aegon act like a petulant prince and be aggressive towards an armed person who then proceeds to threaten his life, and then Aegon goes, "Oh, don't be too hasty. I didn't mean it." Like we've done that twice now,
Yeah,
and if it happens a third time, it's just going to be goofy. Like I
I
hope him
agree.
kissing the feces coated boot is now that's it. Like he's got it now. He's like, "Fuck, I need to play
My
the game."
impression is that it will be, but I agree with you that doing it anymore would be a bit much.
But yeah, I like to see a character like this humbled. You know, you have
Mhm.
someone really high up who does atrocious things, and then you strip them of everything, you throw them into the fire and the mud, and you rebuild them, which George R. R. Martin likes to do with characters like you said,
Yeah.
Jamie. I'm looking forward to that comparison video. But do you have
Part of
anything?
my
Yeah, go.
part of my thought and the inspiration for that comparison was thinking that Aegon kissing the boot really reminded me of Jamie in season 3, episode 4, like falling into the mud. Like that visual was very similar to me.
I can't. When you say the word mud, all I can think of is Tyler Lannister.
It was actually, it didn't look dissimilar.
La- La-
Honestly, now that I think about it, it might have been intentional.
Lannister parallels.
Yeah. Speaking of, how about Thailand? We don't have a slide for him. He
Where's
doesn't exist anymore.
Thailand? He's at the bottom of
Where's
the
Thailand?
sea. Bronn doesn't exist to rescue him. He's just like,
Well, we don't know that.
listen, how old is Bronn? Is he like? Is it like a
Ron
Melisandre
said,
situation?
son of, you wouldn't know him because it was Aegon the Conqueror, and he's
Oh my
actually
god!
300 years old.
Damn.
I
Someone
guess
in the
Tywin would know Aegon.
someone in the chat said Lara's so jealous of Aegon kissing dem feet.
God, please do not remind me of my least favorite scene from season 1.
I like that scene. That's one of the few. Good
I don't.
That's one of the few decent scenes in that episode. That's my hot take.
Disagree.
And by good scene, I don't mean in a kind of it's fun to watch, it's horrible to watch, but I mean I actually enjoyed it. I like what it represented.
I think if it had been anything else, I would have liked it. But
I fully
having the disabled character have a fetish for the part of him that he's disabled, I do not think is very good writing.
fully understand the criticism, fully get it. For me, I like that scene, but I guess that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah.
Now we move on to Lord Ulf of Weatherspoons. Well, you've added a couple of things to this slide that I didn't have. This is just disrespectful. Ladies and gentlemen, this scene doesn't happen in the show.
That's true.
And in this promo still, released mid days after episode 4 came out, which means either the marketing department messed it up or they cut the scene literally last minute. We see Cheese Dog in the back. Look, that's Cheese, the rat catcher's dog. He's been adopted by this handsome man with a beard and a cleft chin. Okay, Quinn, I'm failing. No, listen, I'm failing.
Does not count. Does not count.
No.
If you will not let me count the cats until I see them, this absolutely doesn't
because
count.
we're definitely going to see the cats, whereas we're not going to see Cheese Dog again outside.
So it shouldn't count if we're definitely not seeing Cheese Dog.
We have definitely just seen him. He's on screen.
He's not on the screen. I watched the whole episode. He wasn't on my screen at all.
It's a deleted scene. Cheese Dog is there. I get to tick Cheese Dog off the bingo.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
If we're counting stills, then I get to tick something off from next week.
Well, no, because that will happen next week, and you tick it off when it comes.
Yeah, but if it's in a still, I can tick it off.
No, you could no, because this is for the episode we've just watched.
You're having your cake and eating it too.
No, in the UK HBO, we get an extra few minutes that you didn't see.
Oh, and it's all about Cheese Dog?
It's the Cheese Dog scene.
We cannot count. I think we put a pin in this until the end of the season because I think it's possible we see Cheese Dog again.
I will. Okay.
Given how much we saw Cheese Dog last season, I think it's very possible we see him again.
Okay. All I'm saying is that I'm objectively losing the bingo, and I need anything. I can't.
Pity is a slippery slope.
But we will see. Okay, we'll see what happens at the end of the show.
Okay.
Now,
But yeah, I thought it was so funny because you did send me this still the day it came out, and you were so excited that you got this bingo ticked off.
the scene where
R.I.P.
Ulf
Cheese Dog.
the scene where Ulf walks in and starts talking to Rhaenyra about the favors, I was like, wait, why aren't we cutting back to him in the tavern again? No, no, no. But yeah, speaking
I
of this,
liked that we got to see Ulf come back
yeah.
to his old stomping ground. I also liked that it was consistent in like seeing that graffiti on his way. He wasn't the one to read it. Some like merchant looking guy read it aloud because Ulf and Hugh almost certainly can't
Oh,
read.
that's a nice touch. That's a nice touch.
Adam and Alan, I would guess, maybe can, especially Alan, given his position on the ship and the fact that, like, you know, their mom was known to Corlys and she was also a shipwright and a bit upper class, but, like, Hugh and Ulf definitely can't read.
The graffiti read Queen of Bastards, and it had the strong sigil, the three rivers of how
I
strong.
thought I liked the graphic design of the graffiti, but I did
Oh,
feel like it was a bit weird to have the three strong lines. Like,
extremely neat.
yeah.
Yeah. Very. It should have been three messy streaks, which is how I
Also,
described.
like, that color was very bright and very distinct in a way that, like, I'm not sure that, you know, Flea Bottom has that level of dye.
Yeah, yeah, that didn't work. You cut me off from saying an inappropriate
Sorry.
joke, and no, thank you for that because
No.
no, I don't have a filter. That almost slipped out. Right, yes, but yeah, I liked him going back to the tavern. It's a shame the graffiti wasn't in Giscari because that would have been quite funny.
It means mother in Valyrian.
But yeah, it was cool, and I remember seeing this still last week and being like, I love him going back to see his old mates, but like
Mhm.
he's a dragon rider now. Like, isn't this a bit risky? But like they actively address this later on. We'll get
Yeah.
into that. But yeah, this was just a nice scene. He's still friends with Mudger and Clay.
Mm.
He's the tavern hero. Yeah, it's just fun. I'm glad that we keep bringing back these small folk characters: Madame Sylvie, Mudger, Clay, Cat. No
I think it'll
Diana.
pay off with a future event.
Diana's disappeared, unfortunately. Where's Diana gone?
Maybe she was in this scene and that got
It
cut.
got cut. Ugh.
I do think I liked that it seemed like Ulf was like kind of socially pressured into giving up what seemed like all of his money to buy everyone drinks.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to have seen this scene that was cut because we did see him coming back, but it would have been cool to see how those social dynamics are a bit different. I would imagine these guys are at least a little scared of him now.
Oh my God. I have to interrupt you. I apologize. Someone just said in the
I
chat,
stopped talking. It's not an interruption.
Cheese Dog is in the tavern scene.
No, he
Timestamp
isn't.
33 minutes, 22 seconds, says Jared in the chat.
Someone else in the chat said it's Corliss's handwriting for the graffiti.
Hold on. This is okay. I'm opening HBO.
I'm
right
the guy
now.
in the chair. I can do this.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm pulling up my HBO Max. Oh, there's a new like cover image of Vagar. That's cool.
Ooh.
I'm gonna mute it so it doesn't play. My computer just made a weird sound. What was the timestamp?
33 minutes, 22 seconds. Unless we're being trolled.
Okay. I think the timestamp is different on mine because the pub scene is over by that point. That is the Orwell and Rhaenyra scene.
That is not helpful.
But I'm gonna watch the pub scene right now.
While you're watching the pub scene, I'm gonna move on to the next slide. While you go hunting for cheese.
That graffiti is immaculate.
Banksy is going crazy in King's Landing. But yeah, Ulf, I agree with you. Would it be cool to see more of the interaction with his friends beyond just, hey, I'm buying everyone drinks? Like,
Oh, he is.
you
He's
said.
in it.
Yes,
He's in it.
Yeah.
When he goes to hug one of his friends, he is off to the right of the screen. His face is not in it, but his body is.
Cheese
Dog is here.
Yes, Gromit, the cheese. Gromit.
Excuse you, Viserys the cheese dog.
Of course, that is his official name. When he gets adopted by Rhaenyra in episode 7.
And there's a multiple episode long arc about this.
as-
Oh my god,
yeah.
Harry just jumped on my desk. Harry, get down.
He's jealous because you're looking at dogs on your screen. He's like, how dare you? Only room for cats in your mind.
Well, we'll
Right.
see them next episode, apparently.
Next slide.
Damn you, whoever that was in the comments.
Yeah, you legend. You fucking legend in the comments. Jared. Thank you, Jared.
This is why we need the Third Amendment in Westeros, because it's American story and about the Quartering Act of 1765.
100%. You know that the Mormons have the Second Amendment.
That's pretty good.
The right
That
to
took me a
bear
second.
arms.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you very much. Anyway, moving
Really
on.
like this scene. I'm not okay. I'm curious to get your opinion on the scene that preceded it. When coupled with the assault scene of Alicent in episode 2, it feels like a bit much, and it feels like the soldier could have like done other things to be something bad and provoke Kat's brother into attacking him. But I don't know. This scene was better than Alicent's in every way, in that I think it's a much more realistic situation, and it's not like a character we've already known for 3 seasons and doesn't come as much out of nowhere because it's someone who's like literally being quartered in her house. This kind of terrible thing has happened. But I really liked Ormond's reaction to it, and I think it's very interesting to see like his version of justice, because I think it is very informative on who he is as a leader and who he's trying to shape Daeron into. Because yes, he has this guy gelded and his arm is broken, but he also has Kat's brother executed. It honestly read to me as very Stannis in terms of like justice cutting both ways.
Yes, I put welcome back Randall Tarley because it made me think of the bit in Feast where he like orders his men to either be gelded or hanged when he finds out about a rape. Where it's like Ormond has his own like very specific and weird moral code, which is yes, the rapist will be gelded and he broken arms or his arm will be broken, but also this civilian hit a Hightower soldier, and we can't have that because then everyone will start, feeling like they could fight back against our soldiers. So he needs to be executed too. It's not the sadistic chaos of Ramsay. It's like a weird personal moral code, which I find almost more interesting than just
My favorite kind of moral code.
a weird one.
That's the thing, like in D&D, I love the lawful alignments, because things like lawful evil and lawful neutral, it doesn't need to be the written law of the land. It just has to be a personal code that you abide at all times. It's how much you stick to your principles and what you believe in. And I think this tells us a lot about what Ormond believes in.
I will say though, at first I had an issue with Cat. Does Cat's brother have a name?
Probably.
Just Cat's brother. Cat. Now, at first, I had an issue with Cat's brother being executed in that way because I was like, I understand what they're doing, like you said, the kind of Stannis, But I thought that's a bit of a flimsy reason to execute someone, like because he fought back against someone who you have charged and punished as guilty. Like that felt weird, but I think it's actually less about, and maybe they could have rewritten that scene, but I think it's less about this guy needs to be punished because he struck a Hightower soldier, and and I think it's more about I'm forcing the person I'm politically grooming to pledge his loyalty to me by executing this person who I'm telling him to. I felt like the purpose was more about inducting Daeron further into, that toxic relationship more than a legitimate execution. And there's a part of me that almost wishes that, like, the reasoning he gave was a bit more logical instead of just, you struck a Hightower soldier. Because someone's mentioned it in the comments. If he's saying the soldier is an extension of the crown, by that logic, that means Ormond and Daeron are responsible for the attempted rape, which clearly isn't, their mindset. So it's a bit messy, but
yeah, this was the scene, like especially Ormond and Daeron's reaction, like little conversation afterward. Like you need to be firm in these situations. I'm home right now studying, and I was watching with my dad and my sister, and I said aloud, despite the fact that neither of them have read the books, like that is Griff and young Griff. Like that is 1-to-1 in terms of that arc and teaching this individual to rule in that way. It's just so cool to see it adapted after so long, and adapted in a different and interesting way, because I think, Connington and Griff's relationship is a lot more positive, I would say. I think it's very much shaped by Connington's love for Rhaegar, and he wants to be a father figure to Aegon because he feels a connection to Aegon's father, whereas Ormond seems to really hate the Targaryens and hate that part of Daeron, and it kind of substitutes that love for hate, and it's so cool to watch this inverted version of it. I love it so much.
I'm with you. I'm abandoning my contrarian self. I'm like,
John Connington.
This is the closest we are getting to the young Griff storyline, and
until the remake in 10 years,
and then the next time promo still showing Savas.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. Let's go.
We'll get to that. But to answer your question earlier about what I thought about the assault scene.
Yes. I forgot there was another one in episode 1. That's too much this season.
Reminds me what the episode 1 was.
With Gwaine and Kristen.
Yes. Yeah. No, I would say
Less graphic than the other two, but
I would
still
say
present.
in a vacuum, I was fine with this one in terms of the reality of war, how it evolved in terms of what it meant for Ormond's character and for Daeron's character, and for apparently Leo, the Katz brother's called Leo according to the chat. Um,
Oh, great.
for
I thought
Leo
it was
and his wife
Viserys.
and so on. Like I think it didn't feel tasteless to me. It didn't feel exploitative to me. It felt like it served multiple purposes. Unfortunately, because you had the utterly nonsensical Jasper Wilde attempted rape of Allison in the previous
Mhm.
episode, that like when you keep hitting us with it, it's beginning to feel like Game of Thrones exploitation,
Yes.
shock value, and there are people who've complained about this scene being like, this is just like this is bullshit. This is it's getting ridiculous at this point. It's borderline offensive. I sympathize with that and I get that viewpoint. I think it worked in this episode. I didn't need it previously this season. I like if this was the one in terms of showing how Ormond deals with such punishments, showing how Daeron responds to it in his compassionate way, in terms of showing the reality of like a big army taking over the city and like the victims of Ormond's plotting. Like I
Yeah.
think it worked, but I'm fully sympathetic to people who are just like fed up of how it keeps coming up, because the Allison one really was like the most like
Yeah. This is the only one
unnecessary.
that is like actually saying something in any way, I
Yes,
feel.
100%.
It's
I still the Jasper Wild one is like what even
what
what
the
was the
yeah, that was
point?
I think maybe the worst scene in the show so far. I think it might be, but I don't know. I'd have to think about it more.
Maybe, but I hate episode 9 of season 1 so much
I was
that
gonna say the
I
only other
couldn't
thing that
possibly pick
comes up for
another.
me is the dragon pit scene.
Oh god. Oh, just the Green Council where the Lyman's death, that still angers me. Oh my god. Anyway,
Anyway,
but yes,
do we have anything else about this? Or actually, we have the scene with the letter is its own slide later. I thought it wasn't for a second.
yeah, thanks for checking because I do not remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, like I said, I think this is very interesting for Ormond and also interesting for Daeron. But I feel like we're gonna have a proper Ormond Daeron chat at the last slide because
Yes. Yes. Yes.
fascinating
Yes.
pair of characters so far. Goatwhile, this is just a one-off.
Very short scene, but he's the goat. Like honestly, very good
So,
Orwell episode.
just offering to like if you want to, do you want to
You want to
permanently
kill the Pope? Go ahead.
do you want to permanently kill the Pope, or oh you mean like okay, no, I misread that
Nah.
situation. Like he didn't ask it in a fearful way. He was like, you need me to brew up a little potion? You need me
Tears
to
of Lease,
Tears
perhaps
of
the
Lease?
Strangler.
Yeah. Basilisk blood? No. Oh, I
I
misunderstood you.
Basilisk blood would be such a funny way for it. The Pope just goes feral.
Or you give the basilisk blood to Cheese Dog and then set Cheese Dog
Oh,
on the High Septon.
use his real name. Thank you.
Sorry, Viserys. Um, come on, Quinn. He only has that name when he gets adopted by Rhaenyra in episode 6.
That's
Come
true.
on now. Come on
And then he
now.
gets what, thrown from the tower or something?
Onto one of the spikes. The Maester say he took 15 days to die.
Oh.
Thanks, George. That's how spikes work. Anyway, we're getting off
Yeah,
topic.
Not a ton to say about this one. Just that Orwell rules.
Yeah, just a fun character, and a character I wasn't expecting to be super fun. I'm just like,
Right?
I see you all while. Okay.
And also, like, it's so cool to have a source of the books here. Like, we don't have
Yes.
Mushroom, we don't have Eustace, but we do have Orwell.
Are we gonna have a scene where he's officially writing up the events?
As long as it's not the last scene.
He looks into the camera and goes, "This sure was a dance with dragons."
This sure was a fire and blood.
Part 1. Then it cuts to black and it's like Fire and Blood Part 2 coming out October.
Tomorrow.
Dun 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 dun. And then I have so much more animated lore to do, and then I cheer and no one else cheers because
You are the biggest fan of the hypothetical blood and fire in the world, just
Ooh.
because it profits purely you.
I saw a book in a Forbidden Planet store that was literally called Blood and Fire, and I like nearly had a heart attack. And I looked at it and I was like, what sneaky motherfucker thought he could get away with tricking people with releasing a big book called Blood and Fire? Like, but yeah, moving on to the eerie.
Fashion icon.
Oh my goodness, Drippy, and it's different from the Drip last episode. She keeps updating. 2 episodes ago, sorry. She keeps updating.
This does look a
it.
lot like what Sweet Robin was wearing in the Game of Thrones finale.
When he had his glow up, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it looks like he's sorting out his mic right now. Robot Quinn.
Testing.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Great. Is this better?
It's slightly better, but there's still a bit of robot going on.
Okay, I'm gonna try rejoining the call.
Yeah, go for it. Damn. Lord Haven, I don't feel so good. Also, can we just talk about what Quinn was saying, that it took him 10 seconds to notice that they were dogs? What the fuck is he talking about? What did he think they were? God damn. Oh no. Is everything good? Oh, the stream has not crashed, I hope. Now, we're still live. We're still live. We're still live. Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I okay?
You sound good. You sound good.
Great. Sorry about that.
I don't think it's a you issue. I think it's a me issue. Apparently the stream like went down for a few seconds.
Oh, weird. Okay.
So
I was gonna say my mic sounded a little weird, but I think it's okay. I didn't detect anything on my end.
Oh, good.
Wonderful. Jane Eyre killed the stream.
Jane
As
Eyre
she should have killed Daemon Targaryen.
Okay, so wait, I'm just checking the chat to make sure. Yeah, it crashed for a minute. We're back.
Well,
It's
funny.
still okay. That's good. It's not like you remember in the past when my streams would, but like perma crash.
I forgot the one episode.
Oh
I think it
my
was season
God.
2, episode 4.
And we had to do 2 separate streams because it crashed. And then like
The only time we have actually argued.
I was like 10 seconds ahead or behind you?
Yes.
And we were talking over each other, and it got a bit awkward.
I think I just left.
I think you were like, I'm not putting up with this shit.
I think we were both like that, in fairness.
It's all good, though. It's all
Hello.
good. We're back. We're officially back. Okay. So what you
We're
all
so
missed,
back.
everyone. I was making the stunning analysis that Jane Eyre is hot and one of my future
True.
ex-wives. Quinn was
She's
making
also...
not into me. Yeah.
Correct.
Quinn was making the point that he couldn't recognize that her dogs were in fact dogs because he's, I guess, blind.
I don't know. I've never had a dog. I don't know.
Oh, you're too loyal to Harry the Heir, huh?
It's true. He is currently staring me down, and it's very scary.
I see. Is it because you kept bringing
You're
up
really
the cheese
glaring
dog?
at me right now.
You kept bringing up Viserys the cheese dog. No, like, yeah, no, I loved the dogs. There was a big dogs and owners thing. Like, they were tall and sleek, and they kind of matched her energy, and I thought that was really fun. I loved the look of the high hall. It's
so cool to see it again.
You should definitely check out the behind the scenes after this stream because
is it the same set?
They rebuilt it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because they don't keep the sets around, like they take them down, right? But they rebuilt it and they revamped it, so they put some like interesting murals on the walls, and but they tried to keep to the Game of Thrones color scheme.
Mm-hmm. I think this might be the longest gap between like a location being seen in the main series and House of the Dragon so far, because I don't think we've seen this since like season 4 or 5.
And it's why I'm annoyed by this scene, even though I think it's a great scene. And I love seeing Jane Eyre perched on the weirwood chair. I loved seeing the High Hall. I loved her interaction, her frosty interaction with Daemon. And I love seeing the Eyrie again, even though the show Eyrie sucks and makes no sense just as a castle. But it pissed me off because it made me go, we should have seen this in season 2. Episode 1
with Jace.
Can you imagine Jace standing there looking up, negotiating? You know, on her left side is a Royce being like, we're not going to support Rhaenyra. She's married to that murderer Daemon. On her other side is Jessamine Redfort, her lover in Fire and Blood, who's like, my lady, maybe we need to be more pragmatic here. And there's like a look between them. Then we like smash cut to lesbian sex, maybe. But most importantly, it would have been a great moment for Jace and his character arc. And we
the
missed
lesbian sex.
No, who are you, Mushroom? No, the negotiations.
I always forget that was a detail in there. Jesus Christ.
I had it in my real Jace video. I was like, Mushroom said he did this.
I'm sure you did.
And it almost definitely didn't happen because that's insane. The lesbian was not interested in head from a teenage boy, Mushroom. You strange little man. Yeah,
That might be my least favorite sentence you've said.
You know that he sold bulk though. You know how many people bought Testimony of Mushroom? That was flying off the shelf.
That is true.
He knows what he's doing. Anyway,
NYT bestseller.
Number 2 bestseller, Testimony of Mushroom. But yes, yeah, this was a great scene. Made me pissed off. And also, you know what? How many casual viewers only just realized, oh, I see, this is an Aaron from the Vale, like in Game of Thrones, because
I would say most.
she's only ever been standing outside of that fucking gate, or
Well,
standing.
no, we saw like the interior of the Erie chambers last season. We just didn't see this high hall. We saw some of the chambers. I think we saw the room
Chambers.
that
No, no, no,
Sansa and Lysa
no.
had a conversation in.
We saw a bedroom.
Mm,
You're making it sound too grand. We saw a tiny bedroom with a bed in it that Rhaena sat in, and Jane Aaron would walk in now and then. It
yeah.
felt so low budget. It was such an unceremonious introduction to Jane Aaron as a character. This is what I wanted to be her introduction.
Yeah, that's fair. I would agree with that.
I'm gonna assume it's a budget thing. Like, I don't think it's a
I
creative
also
choice.
really liked that Damon was sent here and that he did a little bit have to deal with at least reference to killing his first wife. I think it's cool to make use of that plot point from season 1, and I think it was actually not bad politicking by Damon in terms of like framing it. Hey, you didn't send us any troops. Send us money.
Yeah, it's like, hey, the faster you pay me, the faster I'm gonna leave.
Faster I leave.
Yeah, and of course, there's the implicit threat with the dragon outside. Although it does have to be said. It does have to be said. If this is the punishment for someone who declares for Rhaenyra but doesn't send troops, what's the punishment for the people who declared against Rhaenyra? I assume they have to pay as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's a middle finger to Jane Aaron. If like the Westerlands don't have to pay
Well, the
compensation.
Westerlands Lord is a baby right now, I think.
That's a good point. Shout out Lady
As is the
Joanna.
Tyrell
Lady
Lord.
Joanna holding the fort,
Mhm.
preparing her genocide against the Ironborn.
I forgot about that. We need a season on that.
Hot D, the Regency.
Hot D, the Red Kraken.
Written by Quinn and Haven.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
They got to bring us in to do a spin-off show. What's our spin-off pitch?
Oh.
We'll workshop it.
Yeah. I was trying to think of the funniest part of the Targaryen reign, but it's just like depressing. So it's like, shit, what's like Baelor the Blessed, the reign of Baelor.
I was gonna say, we could do a really fun version of Daeron's invasion of Dorne.
Oh, now that would be fun.
Or him and Baelor
Like
combined.
that could be like a crusade movie. That could be like a kind of a Kingdom of Heaven movie. Or Aegon IV, we go for a Blackadder style farce, have some wit, have some satire.
That'd be fun. And Martin has said he wants to write wanted to write a short story on Aegon IV. So there's
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
I'll quickly say before I move on, I've often had fantasies about like they do like an animated adaptation and they're like, we want to reach out to some of the big YouTubers for advice when it comes to character design and like lore and making sure we don't miss anything. And we've recruited Quinn and GM and Fantasy Haven, and we're like, yeah, we're at Comic-Con, everyone's cheering. Everyone's cheering our name.
I'm saving that for when I'm
Quinn,
playing John
Quinn,
Connington
Quinn.
in 20 years.
And I'm playing Young Griff.
Yes.
And you're like stroking my cheek, calling me a good boy.
I don't think that happens in the books.
Oh, that happens in this episode, though. God damn.
That's true.
Moving on, what happens? What does Daemon do after he collects the gold, Quinn?
He goes to talk to his daughter in a scene that I have mixed feelings on.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you lead the charge here.
Sure. I don't like the change of substituting Rhaena for Nettles. I've said that a lot. I think we've said that in past streams. It doesn't seem like a great idea. That said, I do like that Daemon is like needing to talk to his daughter now. I think this was kind of among the most vulnerable we've seen Daemon. I think the only other scene in contention for that is his scene like seeing the sickly Viserys for the first time in Lord of the Tides. And you can tell he's worried about his daughter, and he does feel some hint of regret, maybe, as to how he's treated her in the past, because she is right that he really didn't regard her prior to her having a dragon. That said, I don't know. There were also points in the dialogue I wasn't 100% sold on Rhaena's performance. There were also other lines where I was very much sold by Rhaena's performance. I think it varied from sentence to sentence. And also, my biggest issue with this scene, that cave mouth looked way too small for Sheep Stealer to get in and out of.
Have you heard of butter?
I didn't see any. That's the
Just
issue.
lathering Sheep Stealer up, squeezing.
If any dragon would be lathered in butter.
Yum, yum, yum. Right,
From Cyrax.
I like this scene more than you did. I almost it almost goes without saying, yes, I would prefer Nettles. No, I don't think this was a smart change. Yes, I understand the desire to streamline things. No, I don't think it was necessary. Yes, I think Nettles is a more interesting character. Conceptually, what she represents, all that we've discussed this already. I
Mm.
thought this was a good scene. I thought this was the only scene in which Raina's actually been remotely interesting and allowed to have a personality. I like the new fit. I like the short hair. I like the sort of sudden kind of fuck it attitude where she's like, I'm not going to be a princess anymore. I'm a wild girl with a wild dragon. I'm doing my own thing. Um, and I thought the performance was fine. I'm not necessarily with you on that one. I didn't have an issue with her performance. And I loved how vulnerable Damon was being in this scene.
Mhm.
And conceptually, in a vacuum, ignoring the existence of Nettles from the source material, in a vacuum, I like the concept of he pays attention to his family. He doesn't pay attention to his one daughter because she's a Targaryen who can't claim a dragon. Just like Aemond, a parallel to Aemond there. She feels useless. She feels pathetic. Just like how Aemond claimed Vhagar against all odds, Rhaena claims Sheepstealer against all odds. But it's wild, and so she becomes wild like her dragon. Her dragon fucks up. She has to abandon her Targaryen name. Where's it gonna go? What's it gonna mean for Daemon betraying Rhaenyra and like lying to her about Sheepstealer and its rider? What's it mean for all that stuff? The only issue is that the build up hasn't been good because Rhaena has
Mhm.
been boring up until now, just completely a non-character, an empty black hole. Um, and two, Damon ignores both of his daughters. Like, if it was a case that he showed
Yeah.
more emotion towards Baylor and ignored Rhaena, this would hit harder. But not only has he ignored both of them, he hasn't had a single scene with talking to Rhaena since the show began, I don't think. So, like, this
Yeah,
moment
any
doesn't really hit because it's like this is the first time they're fucking interacting,
Mhm.
you
Yeah, he
know?
did have one little scene with young Bela when they're, like, reading together, but that also was kind of nothing. I agree, I think I was maybe a little harsh on the performance generally. I think it was also shot a little weird at points, and that might be part of my criticism as well. It looked like Reina was, like, facing a different direction for part of it.
Oh,
Um, but, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think my other issue with this scene comes in with, I think, Damon's plan to frame Sheep Guy as like the writer of Sheep Stealer is not a good idea, and I think Damon would know that.
if I had a silver stag for every time Damon murdered and burned an innocent man to disguise him as another person,
If
I
I had
hope.
a nickel for every time Damon killed a random person in the Vale.
God damn. Um, yeah, no, it is a dumb plan, but I don't think it's out of character for Damon. He's basically like, I can't sell out my daughter. I'm basically going to be like, yep, random rider, I killed him. Sheep stealer is, if there are reports of sheep stealer, I didn't kill him. Wild dragon, he's flying around. Let's move on. Like, I do get Damon doing it. I do understand it.
But it's the thing is, it's weakened by Nettles not being a thing because we don't have any, riders who don't have Targaryen blood in the show at this point. This sheep rider would be the first instance.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. And it's
Yeah.
clearly setting up tension and conflict between Damon and Rhaenyra. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's one.
I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope it goes well.
I'm hoping for best case scenario of a subplot that I don't like is what I'm trying to say.
I would agree.
So far, we seem to be heading in best case scenario. If it was just Princess Rhaena claims Sheepstealer, that would be lame. The fact that they're kind of almost merging the characters of Rhaena and Nettles more than I expected, I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. We can go in an interesting direction here, but let's make the most of a bad situation. I hope. Uh,
I will also say people in the chat saying Adam isn't a Targaryen. Uh, 2 points on that. One, he is the half brother of the previous writer of Sea Smoke, which could have some
there is a link
element
there,
there,
yeah.
given how fixated that Sea Smoke was on him. And additionally, we don't know anything about the parentage of Adam's mother, Mouse. In the book, it's implied that she has some level of Targaryen blood, in addition to the fact that Corlys himself is of Valyrian blood. So
And
yeah,
also, even though the Valarians aren't dragon riders, there's no way Corlys doesn't have any Targaryens in his ancestry.
yeah,
There's no way because the Valarians and Targaryens married. They
a
married
bunch.
before the conquest. Like, there's no way there will be some sort of Targ blood there.
Yeah. The thing with Nettles is she has no known
Yeah.
Targaryen or Valyrian ancestor.
That's why she's so interesting and why she's so
Yeah.
important. Because she could be a dragon seed. She could even be Daemon's daughter. Or she's literally just someone who tamed a wild dragon and throws Valyrian blood supremacy back in their face.
Mhm.
But oh well.
I've said this in the past. I think that this change, Rhaena being Nettles, does make me think that Martin told Condal that the Daemon Nettles relationship wasn't romantic. It was father daughter. Whether that means she was his bastard or if it was just like a platonic father daughter type relationship, I don't know. But that is my interpretation since this change.
That's been my interpretation since before the change, actually, only because I prefer it.
I also prefer it.
It could be that Germ told them, or it could be that Condal and Hess were just like, we prefer this, so we're going this route. Because the last thing this show needed would be Daemon grooming teenage Nettles. Like, oh
I
my
think
god.
my impression, I think part of it, obviously, we don't know Martin's full criticism of season 2 because of like the blog stuff and getting pulled. I think part of why the Nettles thing might have stung so bad, pun intended, because Nettles sting, it was because maybe he told them this element that this was a father-daughter relationship, and then Condal and Hess might have decided, oh, if it's that relationship, why don't we just make it his daughter and go from there?
Which again isn't like an absurd idea. Like this isn't like
No,
it's not.
in a vacuum, that sounds like it makes sense.
But Nettles is just fundamentally a cooler character, and if you had to cut one, you would cut Rhaena.
I had cut Ulf personally.
No, don't. Honestly, I don't even. No, not the Brexit geezer Dan Weatherspoons. Not my spirit animal. No, he's
Then Hugh. I don't combine Ulf and Hugh.
No, Hugh's your boy. Hugh's your boy.
Hugh is my boy, but I'm willing to give up my boy.
How about we don't? No, because we don't need to cut any of them. Because at the end of the day,
That's
it's
true.
the same number of dragons.
True.
And you'd only cut if you were cutting a whole dragon for CGI reasons. So.
Anyway, we've talked about Ray Nettles more than I expected.
Me too. But what do we have next? Oh yes, Ormond.
I liked your caption for this. Darren, did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
Ormond said calmly. Yeah.
Really fun scene. Everyone's comparing him to Dennis Reynolds, which is accurate.
I love that so much. I mean, yeah, Ormond is the green god. What can I say? He's not the golden
That's
god.
Kermit
He's the
Tully.
green god. Oh, don't you dare. No, Kermit's
Sorry,
not in this show.
I didn't mean to summon him.
No, he's not in this show. We're talking about Ormond, okay? He's a golden god.
Okay.
Ormond is the green god. His fury is untethered. He is untethered, and his rage knows no bounds. That's it.
Correct.
No, I love his performance. And the way he goes from calm.
He like takes a breath beforehand. It's very I love it.
Yeah, he like
And then he like fixes his bangs afterwards.
and like John Roxton comes in like an absolute bro. He's like, I got
Your
you,
cousin
king.
Wayne has written.
Oh no! Afterwards, after that,
Yeah.
where John like picks his chair up for him to sit back in. He's like, "I got you, king. I got you, king." You know, in private, John will like trip over and be like, "Oh, I just tripped over your crown. You dropped it on the floor, king." And Ormond's like, "I see you," and they like bro hug. No, all right.
I think my favorite part of this scene was Daeron right before the outburst, like telling the other squire to leave very quietly. I think that said a lot about their relationship.
He's like, I've seen this before. I've seen him crash the fuck out. And again, and the way he went from that into like kind of desperately trying to calm down again with, interesting. Yes, Gwaine says Aemond can't come. Yes, and it's like it's just
we must change our scheme.
Yes, it's such a fun crash out scene because you can have crash out scenes that are kind of a bit boring. It's character shouting and being angry, but like this one was genuinely fun. I've watched this like 10 times. Like I keep watching this scene because it's so satisfying how he screams the word cunt and how he smashes that table. By the way,
Stream demonetized.
Oh, my streams do not get demonetized when I say.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I think old YouTube policy was the one you couldn't say.
I've also heard that it affected Americans more.
Yeah, it is. I
very
personally
strange.
do not say it because I think it is a lot worse in American culture. But
And I don't. There are certain words I don't say on your streams, but on my streams,
I appreciate
I
that.
say cunt, and I also say rape and stuff because like I don't want to do that thing where I come up with a second word for it and therefore kind of like
it just diminishes it.
diminishes the
point.
word. Yeah. But obviously yeah. But anyway,
Shall we discuss Tablegate?
what is that table made out of?
Valyrian mahogany.
Valyrian mahogany forged in dragonfire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is.
It is a very thick table, in fairness, and he's not like chopping it to cut it.
This is like when Rhaenyra cut Darksister into Ormond's shoulder blades and it didn't like cut him in two.
Ormond?
Otto, sorry.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, I think that's less. I feel like it makes sense for in both of these instances. These aren't lightsabers, is something I think people need to
Yeah.
internalize.
It's a thick ass table.
Dawn is a lightsaber, but these swords aren't.
And I think maybe in predictions we can talk about what we think Ormond's, current plan was, but what the new one is.
Yes.
But yeah, because his current plan seemed to be wait for Aemond and Vhagar to reinforce, come with Kristen Cole, and then I guess I'm not sure what was beyond that.
Question mark?
March on the capital with just Vhagar? There must have been something.
And Jassarion.
That's true. But yeah, he would have been like...
And maybe Dreamfire? Question mark?
Maybe. But now he's like...
I would guess that Ormond doesn't know Helena.
Yes. And probably doesn't even think a woman should be allowed to ride a dragon into battle.
Yeah. Or just people shouldn't be allowed to ride dragons into battle.
Yeah, he just doesn't like dragons, if we're being honest. He doesn't like dragons or people, I think we've established.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did want the original thumbnail to be like Ormond was you, and then like it was my logo around his groin while he's screaming.
Oh, interesting.
And yeah, no, let's move on from that one. We don't need to. Next slide. Oh yes, Ulf. Ulf officially being barred from the pub. He goes to Rhaenyra. He's like, oh, I've got some favors for Mudger. Could you pardon my mate Clay? Pretty funny. And Rhaenyra ignores him completely, as he's often being ignored and disrespected by Daemon and Rhaenyra. She's like, oh, whoa. What are you talking about? You're going to the tavern? You know, she doesn't even address the favors he wants. She's like, no, you are not going to the tavern. You can easily be assassinated, and you are now my foot soldier. You're a dragon.
That is the crown's belly.
Yeah, I own you now. So now
which is so interesting, because, like, having a dragon, you're supposed to be so much more powerful, but, like, he is now being controlled in ways that he did not anticipate, and that he didn't need to answer for when he was just, like, you know, bloke down the pub.
Yeah, he's not, he still isn't used to this. He's still not used to what his new life has to be, like, in the Red Keep, a servant of Rhaenyra, like more than a commoner, but still not a noble. Like, he's in this weird limbo now where he almost doesn't belong.
Yeah, and it's so good, because Ulf is a non-character in the book. Like,
he's just a drunk guy.
He's a drunk guy. Whereas, like, this Ulf, also a drunk guy, but I think among the most personality in the entire cast. And it's so fun to watch him and the ways he interacts with this world that he's completely unfamiliar with, but now has to deal with.
And one of my patrons earlier brought up a cool point about this scene where when he brings up the graffiti, that's not just him being helpful, like, oh yeah, by the way, it's
he's spiteful.
Yeah, he's being like, oh, you know what, fuck you, I saw some graffiti that was insulting you, but he presents it in a way that's like obsequious, where he's like, oh yeah, just to let you know, your grace, because this is important for you to know, yeah, they're all calling you a fucking bitch and you know, mother of bastards, just throwing that out there, like that's his way of fighting back.
Yeah. We don't have a slide for it, but that does directly lead to the Gold Cloaks attacking people in the city streets, which was one of my bigger issues with the episode.
It reminded me of episode 1 of season 1, where the Gold Cloaks are just like beating people up, and there's no logic to it, and like it's just really fucking random.
If it worked for Viserys, apparently, maybe it'll work for Rhaenyra.
Like I needed some more sort of logic, and like it doesn't even have to be in dialogue, it can just be visual storytelling. Who are they targeting? Why are these the people who have done the graffiti? Are these, like, it looks like they're just grabbing random people and punching them. It looks like a bunch of B-roll that was put together, and like it doesn't create a story. It's like, who are they attacking? Like, I know we're meant to infer that these are, you know, dissidents to the crown, but it's
The only thing I liked about it was it acting as a parallel to what's going on in Tumbleton. I think it could be really cool to focus on these two settlements, one occupied by Rhaenyra, one occupied by Ormond, as kind of like a Tale of Two Cities thing.
Yes, there was one shot actually where we went straight from Tumbleton to King's Landing, and I was almost worried because I was like, I can tell the difference, but I'm a bit worried that casual viewers might be like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, Gold Cloaks in Tumbleton or Vermithor over King's Landing? Like, it kind of blended into one. Um, yeah, I thought that was a bit clumsy, that transition, honestly, for me.
Yeah. But up next, we have another scene in the council room. Torrin Manderley officially joins the team. He was in like a minute of this episode, but I loved him.
Oh
Like
yeah,
literally, I'm the master of coin. What little there is to be master of.
has anyone considered a tax? It's
Oh,
just a great campy
the
performance.
way he says "say no more" at the I don't know
He's
why
good.
I love it so much.
He's good, and it's a good English accent as well. Yeah,
It is
yeah.
as much as it should be American. If any house is American, it's the Manderleys.
Outrageous, outrageous. It should be a Northern English accent. It's Southern English. I'll
Should
accept
be a
it.
Southern American accent.
Oh, and of course, the Hightower rapist, Scottish.
Ah.
One of the few
Oh yeah, you
Westerosi
said
Scots.
this.
Yeah, and they're like one of the few people with a Scottish accent, and it's a rapist. Is like, okay, fair enough. That's weird, but okay. Yes, Manderley, really fun, really camp. I want to see more of him. I would like to see a proper Rhaenyra council scene this season that isn't just complaining that the
Interrupted by
council's
something.
yes, that isn't complaining about the council being small or isn't interrupted, because it's bringing me flashbacks of season 1 Hot D, where every council scene was just someone would bring something up and they just get interrupted by main characters. Like, no, I want Game of Thrones style early got style council
Yeah.
scenes.
I think season 1 had some good ones, especially in the pilot. I found I really like the one after Emma's death in the pilot.
It's too many, and they're a good one.
It's also interrupted by Viserys, like, and his outburst, but I think that's like one of the most well-acted scenes of the show.
Yeah, but there's just too many interruptions for me throughout that
Also
season.
references A Feast for Crows, which I like.
But hey, death and taxes. We've talked about taxes. What about death? We've kind of already talked about the shepherd, haven't we?
Yeah.
And
Well, a shepherd.
yeah, we've talked about a shepherd.
What if that's the shepherd?
This is Ryan Condal being like, "Fuck the moon of the Three Kings. It's not happening."
Mm-hmm.
This is he's yeah, but yeah, no, this is a risky play by Damon. I think it's in character for him. You can get the wild card character can kind of get away with a lot more than other characters can, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's him being like, okay, the issue's solved. My daughter is now, hopefully can kind of live her wild life, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah. Give us uninterrupted council scenes. I like characters discussing medieval politics and war. Stop interrupting them. I want to see them talk. Let them cook.
Give us more Manderley.
Give us more Torrin Manderley.
I would watch the Torrin Manderley show.
I would watch Ormond and Torrin just being camp in front of each other.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
Just chopping it up? I'd love it.
Hello, Thorin. And Torrin's like, who do we tax? And they just fucking they just chew the scenery together.
There are like 20 Torrin Manderleys in the main series books. I just love it. It's perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Torrens Manderley is probably the plural.
Torrens Manderley. All right, moving on to the next scene. When do you have to dip, by the way? Because you haven't told me.
I probably got like 30. Probably 7:30 is my.
Okay,
out.
that's chill. That's chill.
We've got a decent amount of time.
We are.
I love your caption here, or your image caption. For those who want more extended thoughts on this, I did just post a video about Helena being pregnant and Maelor the missing. What do you think of all this? I've said all my opinions, and I'll reiterate. But
oh god, I almost want to wait and see. But overall, I don't think we need Maelor. I don't think we need Helena being pregnant. This feels like a weird way of trying to rebuild the bridge with George R. R. Martin that doesn't need to be built. If you were going to have Maelor and the consequences of Maelor, you'd have had him in the show already. He's not here. Don't force him in. It's there's not much. I don't know what else to say that doesn't go into spoilers, but I think I don't need this subplot. There's the only way I can see it being interesting is Rhaenyra finding out soon, and then there being a debate about, oh no, she's pregnant, and if it's male, then that's a risk to my reign.
Someone's spamming your chat, by the way, which you might want to address. I could not myself. I agree with you. I do think it could be very interesting if Rhaenyra is confronted with this threat to her rule that is a baby, and she needs to kill someone who is an innocent that is produced by an innocent. It's kind of her being forced into the blood and cheese scenario, as this infant would very directly be, a threat to her rule. I agree that the main thing that it hinges on for me is like, is Condal doing this organically, or is he just like, hey, Martin complained about Mail the Missing, here's Mail the Missing. I think I'm leaving my mind open to this. I think it could be an interesting direction for all characters involved, and it does create some drama at court. My main concern is how much time we have, and time issues generally. Like, when was Maelor conceived in this instance? Was Aegon has been recovering from Rook's Rest for a few months? And like, how is this going to play out with how little time we have left in the show? Given what we heard from Martin's blog, I saw someone in the chat saying this was 1,000% not planned. Martin does address in the Beware the Butterflies blog, and I talk about this in my video, that Condal did propose a plan earlier, well before this, when seasons 2 and 3 were being planned, of Helena being pregnant in season 3 or late in season 2. So there was some plan for it at some point, but it's unclear if he's decided to go through with it because of the blog.
I will give the rest of my thoughts in spoiler corner.
Yes, I have more thoughts for then as well. I also saw someone in the chat saying Moon Tea. I would guess that she is past that point, but we don't know much about the specifics of Moon Tea. I've always thought of it as kind of a plan B.
Yeah, and even so, it's like, what game is being played here? Is it that Helena's trying to hide it because she wants to keep it? How long can they keep it before it becomes obvious? Like, can Helena just kind of hide away until, I don't know. Is it us? Was it you who we talked about this picture specifically before the episode?
We did, yes. I think I messaged it to you and said people on Twitter were saying she's very clearly pregnant here, which I don't think she seems very clearly pregnant.
I was like, no, she's not very clearly pregnant. And then it turns out she was. So yeah, what do we know?
I would still say she's not very clearly pregnant.
No, of course not.
Yeah. But we have one last scene to address.
Yes, let's move on from my future ex-wife, Fia Saban, and move on to Do It.
My future ex-wife, Ormond Hightower's actor's name that I'm forgetting in the moment.
The one, the only, the irreplaceable James Norton.
Norton, I knew it. Damn it. I should have just gone with that. What did you think of this scene? Other than Tessarion being the best girl.
Tessarion, beautiful. I loved Tessarion, as I mentioned earlier, representing the kind of the inner soul of the repressed Daeron, snarling at Ormond, fuck you. Yeah. I thought it was just the general. Okay, so there's clearly a theme of grooming here. Ormond is this toxic father figure. While he's not literally his biological father, he raised him from an infant. He's been raised in his shadow. He clearly intimidates him as much as he also tries to treat him gently, touching his face, calling him a good boy, and so on. He's makes him feel ashamed of his Targaryen blood, and tells him not to be too close to the dragon, to his own dragon, and there's a weird
I think it's more abusive than grooming. I do not read that as grooming at all. I also think that the actor Norton said in interviews that that was more the nature of it and how he's playing it. If I see something here, I see kind of Logan and Kendall Roy, or almost like Tony and Christopher in The Sopranos. It's very clearly a familial bond where a younger individual is very directly being manipulated and kind of corrupted by this influential figure who on some level hates them but also needs to use them for some end. And I think it's very interesting, and I don't really
that's what I mean by grooming.
What? Well, grooming. Okay, wait. Okay,
in the political sense.
Okay, you've used that word to describe this a lot this week, and I keep thinking there's another sense of grooming that has become
in that case
used in pop culture, and I think
in that case
you're talking about the touch of the face and whatnot.
Let me clarify.
Sorry, using it.
Let me clarify. I apologize. By grooming, I mean he's grooming him to be basically a high tower, to be his basically loyal squire, inducted into his mini cult, and grooming him for command. You will be the king, and I'm basically going to control you. You're the puppet. I'm the puppet master. Not sexual grooming.
Okay, good. Just
I
misunderstood that all this week. I think based on some messages you'd sent.
Oh, there was something I said, which is that it's not in the script, and I don't think it's intentional in terms of the direction or the writing. But I do think there's that the actors maybe are playing up an uncomfortable intimacy between the characters, which is just there to accentuate the political grooming theme. But no, there's no sexual
Yes.
thing going on between them. There's just a kind of abusive, toxic relationship where
Yeah.
he is controlling this, very compassionate, sweet boy and being like,
Mhm.
"You're my puppet. I'm going," and even the whole "execute this man" for me is very much, I'm forcing you to bloody your hand to prove your loyalty. You don't want to
Mhm.
disappoint me, do you? Um,
Which is so cool. Like I love this. I love Daeron. Daeron is my favorite Targaryen from the dance, and to finally get to see him this episode is so cool. Like he's such a good character, and I think they're doing him in an interesting way here with this dynamic with Ormond. I'm excited to see what the future holds and how much agency that Daeron himself is going to have, and how this kind of mentorship relationship is going to influence him, especially having Angel and Devil on the shoulder with Tessarion being the angel. It's really cool, and it's something I don't think we got a ton of in Game of Thrones because like most of those toxic parental figure relationships happened before the series and off screen. Like Tywin, obviously, with all of his kids. We saw it in certain contexts, but his kids were all adults. We didn't see, the abuse as it was actually happening in childhood. I think it's really interesting to actually see that happen here.
Bruh, someone in the chat saying, "No, how about he's just a dude raising a young man?" How can you how can you how can you
I
misinterpret the episode
I
that far?
hope that guy is okay.
Yeah, or maybe it's a bit of an irony in there. But yes, yeah, no, but I want to address, and we kind of touched on it earlier, but the supremacy angle, which I think
Yes.
is like giving us a different flavor compared to Otto, right? Personal ambition,
Mhm.
get my bloodline on the throne, become the hand. Clearly, Ormond wants power and he wants to be on the throne, but he wants to eradicate like the Valyrian culture of the crown. He's like, I want a high tower and our culture. The wisdom of the citadel, the piety of the faith, and so on. And so he's pushing this sort of Andal supremacy. Um, but at the same time, he's talking about blood. He says you have a taint in your blood, and you shouldn't show compassion towards your dragon. And the Valyrians are like low intelligence but high cunning, which is a borderline like Nazi-esque rhetoric about Jews, right?
Yes.
Low intelligence, high cunning. And it's like, okay, so there's clearly an ethnic component, but as we mentioned before, the Hightowers are first men. So it's like
Mhm.
Andal supremacy, but also, are you saying the first men are better than Valyrians, or do you think you're pre-first men, or like it's messy and it's kind of
Zero men.
he's the zero man. Yeah, he's patient zero. The Hightowers are patient zero of Westeros. But
It
no,
is
it's
it's
like
so interesting. And
it's
it's
it's messy and it's hypocritical, and that makes sense if he is a like basically a borderline racist,
and
because like yeah, it is, that's an inherently hypocritical position to have. It's nonsense.
I think it makes the world a little more interesting and cohesive with a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
Mm,
Because, like,
talk to me.
Fossaway throughout that entire thing, they're incestuous aliens, Duncan. Like, how he seems to hate Targaryens and thinks that they are, this, more savage people because of it and because of what they've done to the continent. And I think it's interesting, not only are both those individuals from the Reach, but this could be some I don't know, lingering cultural warfare that's kind of blooming there. And it makes me I don't it's interesting and it makes me wish that the Reach was not on side with the Targaryens during Robert's Rebellion because that could be really interesting. Yeah, it did really remind me of Fossaway in his speech there, but obviously dialed up to
Yep.
20 and 20 times more racist and toxic.
Fossaway also from the Reach. Like the Reach
Yeah.
is sort of the bastion of like traditional chivalric Andal
Yes.
culture. There's clearly something like that. It's a really fun thing to explore, and I do want to bring up the fact that people are like, okay, you're making him like a cartoon villain, right? And oh, you're what did you say earlier about people being like you're ruining the book character?
They're
Your
like character they
Okay,
character assassinated Ormond.
he doesn't have a
No.
fucking character. He
People
doesn't have
like
a
this
character.
and worse exist in the real world. Like that's
Ormond's
not
Ormond's character is literally in the book in Fire and Blood. It's literally he's a competent commander. He sacks one place, but then he spares the kids of a noble. He's a bit morally ambiguous. There's not much there, right? He doesn't have a
next
fucking
to
character.
nothing.
Daeron has more of a character because like his personality is actively described. Ormond is just a dude. And in terms of being like, in terms of making him a villain, it's like the show needs villains. And yes, you could argue that the way they've treated the blacks versus greens has very much been like the greens are kind of way more villainous in the show than even in the books, and I
Mhm.
do have an issue with that in some capacity in terms of the ambiguity has been torn out of it a bit. But like
Agree.
with Ormond, I'm okay with us having a traditional villain. Like I think the show needs an injection of a camp villain, and if we're
Yes.
going down this route anyway, let's embrace it.
And
I
it's
just
like you said, it's a different motivation, which I think is a cool change of pace. And like, yeah, having that like faith element to it is also it's interesting. It's something that was explored in the main series, and I'm
uh,
excited to see where they go with it and how they explore it.
it wants total Andal cultural victory. The height and I would say one more thing before we move on to
Go ahead.
super chats and spoiler corner, all that stuff. We can decide what order we want to do that in. Daeron's hair. I'll just be brief.
Oh yeah.
If I hope it's explained in a future episode that it's dyed, and a good argument I saw is that Ormond is making him dye it so he looks more Hightower.
Yeah.
But if
So
that's just his hair, it makes no fucking sense that the fake Daeron has
agreed.
dyed hair, because people would know that Alicent Viserys had had a son with dark hair. It's such nonsense.
Yeah. Also, it would make all of Allison's comments about Rhaenyra's bastards completely hypocritical. Which I mean,
Exactly.
being a hypocrite is fine, but I don't think she
But
would say them. If they
It
were
feels
that outright
unintentional though.
hypocritical.
It doesn't feel like an unintentional
Yes.
point about a character
In,
being hypocritical. And there
in
are some
terms of
people.
things. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say there's some people in the chat who are saying that like, why is this getting so much focus when the Valyrians are inherently like borderline supremacists culturally and racially, and that's
Mm.
and like that is a fair point. But like Ormond is, like you said, is sort of a mirror to Daemon, and Daemon is our example of the Valyrian supremacist, and he is
Yes.
not a good guy. He's a fun
No.
wild card, and we like to root for him because of, you know, he's kind of playing that role in terms of like load of people here are villains. He is still a villain. Daemon is a bad person, and we know
Yes.
he is. He's not. It's not like
But Martin said he was light and dark in equal parts.
don't get me started on that. And if Rhaenyra goes down a Valyrian supremacist direction, it's probably going to herald her character going in a darker direction, right? It's not being justified. That's all I'm
Also,
gonna say.
on the hair, I did want to say that is the actor. I believe his name is Link. That's his natural hair color. So unclear.
Okay, because that's interesting, because like that is just show Alicent's wig, like that's show
And
Alicent's hair.
also, there was a post by I think the official HBO Max account saying like, "Oh, welcome to a new dark-haired Targaryen." So that was I don't know, a point maybe in favor of the it's his real hair color thing.
Although
But
as
I do also don't know how much
Yeah.
their social media marketing team has in terms of future knowledge or anything.
yeah. Yeah, and then the scene ends with Daeron being forced to kill Leo.
Spoilers.
My bad, might be.
I haven't seen the episode.
Which again seems less like a legitimate execution and more of a kind of culty thing. And I think the only way I'd improve what I thought is a great scene would be have the execution be more meaningful, because it does just feel like bullshit. Of, oh, he struck a Hightower soldier. That doesn't make any sense. You've punished him for being a rapist. It should have been something more than that. It should have maybe it's something like, you know, during the kerfuffle, maybe John Roxon gets involved and he like lashes out at him, and Ormond's like, "Oh, okay, you fought back against a rapist, fine, but you struck a noble knight, a knight of House Roxton. That's a step too far. Take his hand or take his life." You know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It would be fun to do one of these streams, like having not seen the episode. I should try to do that at some point.
well, we just lie. We just pretend.
Yeah, we just like we take the stills and we like, yes.
You're like, yeah, I loved the bit when Ormond handed him a sword.
Handed him a sword.
It was really
That's so
kind of him.
cool.
Yeah, they were so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a
It's
good
like Lord of the
father
Rings
figure.
and my sword.
You bow to no one.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I think that's about that. I liked the noises of Tessarion tearing somebody apart above the credits music.
That was nice. That was nice. Some people pointed out that like Ormond probably should have had a sniff with the scent of burning flesh and hair.
That is a good point. I
Yeah.
hadn't considered that.
But yeah, moving on. Let's
He
say
needed to aura farm with that last line.
he did. Now we begin. Oh, just like
Now we begin.
just like Daenerys and Dragonstone.
Just like Arthur Dane at the Tower of Joy.
Oh my god, all these parallels. You're gonna have a field day. Next, new characters. Let's say hello. This is our proper introduction to Daeron. I love the actor. The actor's doing a great job so far. Super
Incredible
likable.
job.
Yeah. And he does kind of look like he could be Aegon's younger brother and Alicent's son.
Yes.
Like he has
He looks exactly like young Alicent.
he's got the round baby face, and he's got like the big eyes and the full lips. Like he looks like Aegon and Alicent. Aemond looks like Daeron. Sorry, Aemond looks like Daemon a bit with the angular jaw.
Yes.
Helena is just, I don't know where Helena spawned from. Helena doesn't look like any other.
Viserys.
Helena does not look like Viserys. No one looks like Viserys. Viserys is a very specific looking guy. But yeah, we meet Lord and Lady Footley. I really liked the kind of sweaty, obsequious Lord Footley and the more kind of hardened Lady Footley. Interesting to see where they go. We know what their fates are in the book. Let's see if that's the same. And then Tom Tangleton, super cute. He's in the books.
Tangle your tongue on that one?
My tongue tangled saying Tom Tangleton, unfortunately. And then Janos, brand new character for the show. I hope he gets shanked with a sunfire scale, is all I can say.
I imagine he will be. And then we have In Memoriam.
Rest in peace to Leo, Kat's brother, the poor shepherd who was roasted, and the cheese dog who is not dead.
I added
Quinn.
cheese dog to the slide before we realized he was actually
He's in the episode, motherfucker. He's in the episode.
It.
Only 2 characters died this episode. But they were my favorites.
I think so. My thought with super chats is people might not want spoilers.
So super chats first.
Yeah, but first, before we do that, can you move forward to the predictions? Because I did just want to say one thing about this, because that's Syvass on screen, which is a Westerosi version of chess that is George R. R. Martin's favorite thing to include in the later books in the series. It's his go-to metaphor for the Game of Thrones. It's really cool to see it here. It is a little bit anachronistic, given the fact that it doesn't reach Westeros until the events of the main series, coming in Dorne in 299 AC, because it came from Essos, but I could also see the Hightowers having this game from Essos, or, Ormond just being kind of a weeb in that regard. But I'm excited to see it. And it's also very young Griff.
Yes, it is. Like, it'll be great. I know what the scene's going to be already. You can tell it's going to be like giving political advice and using the rules of Syvass.
Like every Tyrion chapter in A Dance with Dragons.
Except this time, we might actually have a Syvass product made and sold. You think HBO's not going to sell Syvass?
Martin is actually... I think there was some comment. I did a video on Syvass like 2 years ago, and Martin said that he'd had thoughts on like making it a game, but he didn't want to limit its rules in case he needed to change them for future books, future metaphors.
That's smart. But if the show is the show and the books are the books, as he often says, we definitely they got to sell Syvass. We got to play Syvass.
We need to do a stream playing Syvass.
Damn, Magnus Coulson. Do a little live streaming, some Gotham chess. Let's do it. Gotham Syvass. Crazy thumbnails. My friend Mac from Ireland brought up something really interesting when I watched this with him. When we looked at some of the stills, which is in the Next Time trailer, you see the Syvass board. In this still, look, the Syvass board is empty.
Yeah, he's
Did Ormond do a young? Did Ormond or Daeron do a young Griff and knock the board
Ormond, 10,000%.
Either he was making some kind of point about, all this politics means nothing in the face of dragons and he knocks the board over, or John Roxton just comes in with bad news and he's like, cunt! And just fucking...
if we want to do super chats before we get to
super chats, then predictions, that makes sense in terms of not spoiling people, but I also don't know if we can rush through the super chats in just 15 minutes, is my worry.
That is a good point.
Because I want to do predictions and bingo with you. Super chats let's
do bingo first. That's most important.
Bingo. Okay, so bingo will be a bit spoilery. So if you don't want spoilers, I will say tune out and then come back for when we do super chats. So I will be answering every single super chat, don't worry. So bingo, starting with you. Syvass next week, Quinn next week.
Okay.
We had one of 2 Toms.
I'm going to do a half X.
Do a half. We will see if Tom Tanglebeard rocks up.
I am positive he will.
We have
not see Laenor.
Okay, we have met a shepherd. Not the shepherd.
Are we counting that? I'll take it.
No, if you're going to be a bitch to me, then I'm going to be a bitch to you. You can't count that.
That was not the intent of the square. I would not argue for that one. I would argue for Oops, however.
Go on.
With Caraxes flying off course and meeting Sheepstealer.
Oh, no, that's not Oops. That's not a misunderstanding or an accident. That's Sheepstealer tracking down Sheepstealer. Sorry, that's Caraxes tracking down another dragon on person. on purpose.
Okay.
Oh my god, call me Haven Tangletongue. I couldn't get that sentence out. That's like a dog smelling another dog in a park and sprinting away with the owner's like, no, we're going home. Like that wasn't accidental. That was like,
Yeah.
it's like the
In that case,
TARDIS.
I don't think I
Quinn,
have anything else this episode.
it's like the TARDIS. It doesn't take the Doctor where he wants to go. It takes him where he needs to go.
I'm also gonna. I'm marking off 100 cats.
No, there have been no cats. I have not seen a single cat.
Fine.
You're only
That'll be
allowed,
next
yeah,
week.
a name drop of 100 cats. Okay. If Helena mentions Dreamfire, that doesn't count as Helena and Dreamfire.
Okay.
I gotta see that shit. Yeah, no,
Moving on to
you're looking
yours.
good though. I can't lie. God, mine. All right, Cheese Dog.
Cheese dog.
Officially Cheese Dog. Thank you, you legend, Jared, in the comments. Other than that, I think I'm screwed. We've still
I
only
don't
seen
see anything else.
We've only seen one titty.
Mhm.
Neither of us had ass on our bingo, and we got a big old Hightower cake. We got some moist cake
That's
this
good.
episode.
We oversaw that. That was a bit of an oversight.
Yeah.
No Beesbury's, no Unwin, no Allison.
We had a peak
They already did-
reference.
I think
with
there's a chance that I think this Dayron in the arc they're doing for him, I think we are more likely to see him play the lute than him be Dayron the Daring.
Which is funny because and I'm going to keep bringing this up, when I had Dayron the Daring as a square,
I know. I said it was
you
too
roasted
vague.
me, and then the chat just fucking rallied behind you. The lemmings in the chat were like, "Oh, Haven didn't prepare for this stream." Well, fuck you, because there is no Battle of the Honeywine. He
In
has
fairness,
not been
you
knighted.
didn't prepare for that stream.
No, I did, motherfucker. Listen, he was not named Sir Dayron the Daring. That was I got blowback for nothing. And
Oh,
I
actually,
won't forgive
one
you.
question here. Maylor.
I'm not gonna count it yet.
Okay, we haven't seen him yet. He needs to
We
be
haven't.
birthed.
Yeah. I think we need more than just Helena being pregnant. She could be pregnant with a girl, for all we know. Like Ryan Coddle could
True,
just be
that's a good
trolling
point.
us. This could be Maylora. Also, someone's just reminded me.
Maylor.
So
I would actually quite like that.
someone just reminded me in the chat, and I almost didn't mention it. Connor said the Hightower soldiers who are in the house, they mention Honeyholt.
I don't know if that counts.
They reference taking Honeyholt. They have taken the seat of House Beesbury. That's a Beesbury reference. Honeyholt is a Beesbury reference. You can't say the seat of House Beesbury is not a Beesbury reference. Come on
Okay.
now.
There you go.
And
You're only two away now.
You can breathe a sigh of relief because I'm not getting any other.
You might get Renee to hook up an Unwin. That's all you need.
Unwin isn't coming, bro. Unwin's not in. We would know.
Unwin is
And-
I think that they keep bringing focus to that bald guy with Kristen and Gwaine. I think that could be Unwin.
That is not Unwin. I think he has a name. I think he's Sir Edgar or
Oh,
something.
really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Why would that be Unwin?
I don't know. Why would anyone be Unwin?
Yeah, I'm looking. No, I'm so scared. I'm not getting any more.
I think I'm in an okay spot.
Oh yeah, you're doing okay. You can,
Because that's the thing. If Rhaenyra gets cut on the throne, I get a bingo.
but she might not. She might bleed on it a different way.
I hope she doesn't.
I've actually softened my opinion on that. I wouldn't actually mind that as much. I saw a good review.
You just don't want me to get bingo.
No, I saw a review of episode 3 by Estella Graves, and they kind of raised an interesting point about the whole Rhaenyra potentially bleeding on the throne. And I was like, actually, I don't. When it's like, I don't actually mind it conceptually. I understand it would still be on the nose for me, but actually, I've softened my opinion on it somewhat. But anyway, super chats or predictions is the question.
I don't really have many predictions, so to speak.
Yeah, I usually take a note of stuff. I guess the only one that stands out to me is what the fuck is Ormond's plan?
Oh yeah, that is worth discussing. I mean, obviously we get a bit of it at the end with crowning Dayron as the new claimant.
Which has been made all the more easier by Rhaenyra proclaiming Aemond to be a kinslayer, right? So
spoilers, right?
Okay.
I have two thoughts. One, he saw Hugh flying over the town, obviously. He knows Rhaenyra has these new dragon riders who are these unknown people. He could try to convince them to betray her somehow. He might not know how to do that yet. He obviously has a very good way to do that via Hugh's wife being in Tumbleton, which he does not yet know. But I could see him trying that. The other thought I had was trying to somehow provoke Rhaenyra into taking some monstrous action that would cause the commons to rise up against her.
Yeah, and we know that Ulf and Hugh are taking turns watching over Tumbleton, And
Mhm.
the
I want
huge
a scene of them talking together while watching.
yes, that would be cool. I want more interactions there. And yeah, I think Hugh there'll be something related to Cat. And
That is
Ulf
on my bingo.
and Ulf is like he's being disrespected. He's asking for
Ulf is very
favors.
clearly being set up well. I like Ulf's setup so far.
Yeah, he's being disrespected and he's an ambitious, insecure man. And I can see Ormond being like, I will give you gold and a fucking castle and a lordship. Just do what I say. So
Mhm.
it's for me, I think Ulf's turn will make sense. They need to handle Hughes well. It needs to make sense to me.
I think they will.
Yeah, and in terms of Ormond, yeah, so Ormond's plan seems to be get two big ass dragons on our side. We'll have Silverwing, Vermithor, and Tessarion, and then we swell our ranks, and that leaves us more evenly balanced against Cyrax, Caraxes,
Mhm.
Moondancer, and Sea Smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it slightly evens the playing field. Okay, it's cool. Let's see Ormond cook. Let's see Ormond
Hmm.
cook.
I'm
Or
excited.
yeah, some people are saying that he's going to just outright use Cat as like blackmail to blackmail Hugh to switch. Um, the issue there is that like I'm not a fan of Hugh just like switching
Being
and
forced into switching.
yeah, I'm because if we're doing the whole Hugh wanting to be king, that only makes sense if
Mhm.
he says "fuck you" to both sides. So he needs a
Yes.
reason to say "fuck you" to Rhaenyra. The blackmail wife thing from Ormond would make him say "fuck you" to the Greens, and then he can be like, "A commoner should sit at the throne. I've got a big ass dragon. It should be me." But there needs to be a reason for the blacks to piss him off, as well as a
Maybe
reason for
it's
the
like maybe Ormond captures her and then she is a casualty of whatever battle is coming here and she is killed by, you know, Daemon or generally Rhaenyra's troops. And
Mm,
then he dislikes the Greens for capturing her and the, you know, Blacks for killing her. And that makes him do what he does.
yeah.
What?
I'm more confused by like what his plan was before. Like, how did he think he was gonna win with an army in Tumbleton and Vagar, like up against how many dragons? Five, six,
Six.
six? What?
Caraxes, Cyrax, Sea Smoke, Moon Dancer, Silverwing, Vermithor.
What was his Vagar and Tessarion versus those? Like, what was he cooking there?
In
Like,
fairness, I think Vagar could take maybe two of those at once. It's all in how they like execute it. Like if they could bait one or two of the dragons into a certain situation, like use Tessarion to lure them away and then kill them with Vagar, I think that's possible.
yeah, yeah, we shall see. But yeah,
We shall.
I don't have any other specific
Same.
predictions. And I will do a predictions live stream solo this week to just kind of go through the trailer, which
Very
isn't an
fun.
episode 5 trailer, it's a weeks ahead trailer.
It's a weeks ahead and it's annoying me.
Yeah, but then HBO changed the title from weeks ahead to season 5 trailer, even though it's obviously weeks ahead.
Mhm.
So like that's
It's
very
bizarre.
confusing. We don't need a weeks ahead for like 4 more episodes. That's weird. But I've heard good things about the next episode. So
Same.
yeah, so time for super chats. Feel free to stay as long as you can, and then when you dip, you can dip.
Sounds good. I've got about 5 more minutes, but I'll stick around for those.
Awesome. Let's jump into it. Thank you so much, everyone who super chatted and sent in a donation via Streamlabs. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. You're the best. And feel free to keep them coming if you want. Like it's not locked out. I'll probably be Quinn will leave and I'll be staying as long until they're all done. Blah. Right. 2 days ago, Panolian just tipped me $6 out of the blue. I didn't stream 2 days ago. Thank you so much. That's super kind of you. No comment left. Thank you for the super chat from Rizzler 213 who says,
Oh,
I think this makes the 20th related scene of the past 3 seasons so far. They cheapen sexual assault to just, hey, we want to portray this person or group badly. Do a grape scene.
Hmm.
Oh, I missed the first grape. I just said 20th related scene, which made that sentence confusing. Yes. Yeah, that's an understandable perspective. I've heard that perspective before. People being like, you're using like the focus has so far has not been on the victims. It's been on making the other person look worse, right? Which is true. The
Yeah.
attempted rape in this episode, it's to make Sir Garrick look bad, and it's something for Ormond and Daeron's character. We don't really see
Does
how
not have anything to do with
Cat, similar to Allison, hasn't really processed that attempted rape. It was just to make Jasper look worse. And even the one in the Village Girl, that was just for Kristen and Gwaine. yeah, it's not focusing on the victims, which you could argue is an issue. Fully sympathize with that. I'm actually gonna read out the super chats, not on Streamlabs, but through Studio instead, because it actually it's more colorful, and I realized I can appreciate the different donations as well if someone sent in something. Because I'm pretty sure I saw a big donation earlier, and I try not to freak out. So
Did.
I was like, "Hey, yo." Oh, these are in a weird order.
Hmm.
Wait, hold on. Let
All
me.
right, I think I am going to unfortunately need to hop off.
Ye heading off.
Yeah,
Farewell,
but
Quinn.
thank you for having me.
Plug yourself. Plug yourself. Hey,
Yes,
pause.
subscribe to the Quinn the GM and also to Haven, also like the stream. I had a video come out earlier today, which went a lot more in depth on Helena being pregnant and Maelor the missing, and how that factors into Martin's concerns with the season overall. Be sure to check it out. It is on my channel now. Go check it out after the stream. Yeah, and I'll have a video out probably sometime this weekend talking about Aegon and Sunfire and those changes from the books. And yeah, I'll have many more videos on Hot D coming soon.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I am sorry for departing early. I am just
Oh, no worries, no worries.
a little dying at present.
One of
Once
these
the
days,
exam is over, we will have much longer streams.
yes, we will. And congrats on the exam being finished.
It's not. It's not.
Oh, you said. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought.
No, that's because we were. I see why you're mixed up. We were talking in messages earlier about the episode 6 live stream, which will be on your channel, and that is the week of the exam.
Yes, I got mixed up. Oh my god. Yeah, no, you would have been way more hype if you'd officially got it done. You're right.
Yes, that's the thing. I am dead right now. I will be significantly less dead then.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
All right. Thank you for having me again. Goodbye, people.
Bye, Quinn. Okay, one thing I've noticed is yes, one thing I noticed, and I may have made this mistake in earlier streams, is that Streamlabs only accepts donations. Sorry, Streamlabs only displays donations that come in during the stream, not before the stream. So sorry, not donations, super chats. So super chats that come in before the stream started aren't on Streamlabs, which means I've been missing them, and I apologize for that, because there have probably been streams in the past where I haven't been reading out people's messages. I apologize for that. So from now on, instead of reading off of Streamlabs, I'm going to read off of the YouTube Studio app, which means I can catch all the donations I got pre-stream beginning. I apologize. That's my bad. I hope in previous streams I haven't missed too many. My bad. Anyway, let's move on. Actually, I'm going to change the slide to the nice ending. Subscribe to Quinn. Show him some love. Check out his videos. Right. Thank you for the super chat from Channel of Ice and Fire. Sup guys. Glad to catch you guys while at work. Not going to read the rest of that because you're bringing up Patreon Discord stuff that's private, so don't do that again. Thank you to the super chat from QuickSave, who says, character assassinated Ormond. Oh, character assassinated Ormond. He's nothing like my Ormond ex Bold John fanfic titled Of Mogs and Foids. For fuck's sake. Also, did you guys know that Sir Redfort is played by goddamn Captain Price? Soap. I actually don't know what Captain Price sounds like in the remakes. Like, I'm doing my impression is purely from the original trilogy. How the bloody hell does Makarov know you? Does he sound like that in the remakes? Had he got a different accent? I don't know. But you're completely right. I changed my opinion. Ormond has been character assassinated. He's not. Yeah. Why isn't he flirting with Bold John? Why hasn't there been a sex scene between them? This is crazy. And I can't wait to read. Let me know when you finish writing of Mogs and Foids, and I'll do a review. Hell, I'm going to animate the storyline. Just because you sent me a cheeky tip. Thank you so much from the. Hold on, let me. Oh, whoops. Let me see if I can't move my Streamlabs over to my other monitor so I get a better look at the chat. Because, hold on a second. This is a far better way of doing things. Far better way. There we go. Okay, sorry, we got a bit messy there because I decided to read the super chats out in a different way. Yes, Malcolm said, if I had a nickel for every time this year that a Daeron Targaryen was introduced in episode 1, but his identity wasn't revealed until episode 4, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. No, that's... First off, we got Daron the Drunken before Daron the Daring. That is crazy. But also, yeah, you're completely right. Drunk Daron in the tavern, and only episode 4 he's revealed. Now that's a Quinn the GM style parallel. Where's the drunken versus the daring comparison video? Thank you for the super chat from Mad Dog 24, who says, I heard on Twitter that episode 5 is great. I didn't see as much movement around the releases until this. Makes me curious. I'm a mixed bag on things for the show. So I've heard this too. There's one, I can't remember the account name, I apologize, but they said they loved it. I think it's Targaryen Loyalist. They said they love episode 5. They were singing its praises. They said they loved every scene. They said there were twists we won't see coming that are really cool. And I also heard from, was it Voice of Old Town? Said they liked episode 5. Unless I'm misremembering and I'm getting a mix up, I'm pretty sure Voice of Old Town has been a bit doomer about this season. If he thinks episode 5 is good, and I've been enjoying the season so far, I think I'm excited for this. Because what I don't want is an episode 5-6 of season 2 situation where it's sort of kind of fillery, kind of slow, kind of sluggish. The scenes aren't working. I don't just want like a bunch of filler until, the finale. Episode 2, I need more than just selling shit up. Episode 4, we set shit up. That's fine. Next episode, let's get going. Let's get moving. There's a lot to explore. Give me more Manderley. Give me more Ormond. Give me more Roddy the Ruin and Oscar Tully and Black Alley. Give me more Kristen and Gwaine. Come on. Yes, I'm excited for the next episode because of that. Thank you to 3SLN. I'm not sure. Oh, and by the way, everyone, obviously, because I'm reading it off of the YouTube Studio app, I'm doing Super Chats first, then I'm going to go through Streamlabs to specifically find the Streamlabs donations. I'll get to those at the end. So if you sent in a donation, thank you so much. Those are at the end of the Super Chats. Don't you worry. Yes, 3SLN says, good day to you, Lords Hin and Quaven. Who do you think would win a racisms competition between Ormond and Damon, and who would have the better slurs? That comment with the profile picture of just like Lionel Baratheon dancing, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I'm sorry that Quinn couldn't be here to take part in the super chats. In the future, when he's less busy when he's moved on from the bar, when he's past the bar, he's a proper lawyer. We'll have longer live streams there. But who wins the racism competition? I mean, Damon is clearly a Valyrian supremacist, but like he's not. He talks up Valyrians. He doesn't necessarily talk down other groups. Whereas Ormond outright was like, "You have a taint in your blood. Your people are of low intelligence but high cunning." Like, god damn, relax. Who would win? Who would have better slurs? Damon would have like casual slurs. Damon would have like casual internet slurs that everyone knows, and he'll say them, and Rhaenyra will be like, "No, Damon, no." He'll be the racist uncle at the barbecue. Ormond's slurs are like esoteric. He has like a deep, deep fucking like niche 4chan slurs that only 10 people understand. He'll be like goddamn Targoids. Everyone be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" There were 4 comments to that super chat. Ormond is the hero of the story. Anyway, thank you for the super chat from Rizzler213. Is this the Rizzler of great renown? God damn. Aegon and Sunfire and Daemon with Rhaena and Jane saved this episode. I disagree. I think every scene was good. Some I liked more than others. But yeah, no. Aegon and Sunfire, I'm really enjoying the tragicomedy of Aegon and Larys. And Daemon and Rhaena and Jane Arryn, I liked that portion of the episode a lot. Quinn didn't seem to like the Rhaenyra scene as much as I did. And for me, I was like, okay, we're going in a new direction. Rhaena seems a bit more interesting than before. Yeah. Big Kermit in the chat. I'm going to have to read it in his voice. Big Kermit 420 in the chat says, Damon is a Reddit racist. Ormond is a plantation racist. that sums it up pretty well. Researching different cultures so I can be racist more accurately. Yeah, no, that is Ormond. God damn it. Anyway, I'm gonna get this stream demonetized, bro. Thank you, Longshanks, who says, whenever a stream is delayed, the very wise people will say, Quinn will not have let it happen. That's the thing. I will always live in Quinn's shadow. I will always live in that man's shadow until I overtake him in subscribers. We are breaking 100k subscribers while Hot D is out. Everyone hit subscribe, share it, show your friends, hype the videos, like the videos. We're on, what are we on? How many subscribers are we on? We're on 88, 87. We're on 88.7k. We're gonna hit 90k, I think, next week. That gives me just a few more weeks to get 10,000 more subscribers. They say it can't be done. It's gonna be done. Fucking 100k. I'll sing Reigns of Castamere or some shit. Let's get over the finish line. Let's beat Quinn. We got this. Thank you again to the Rizzler who says, oh yeah, and this is the super chat I answered earlier. So this is post stream beginning super chat about the whole the rape scenes being used to denigrate the attacker and not focusing on the victims. That's a completely understandable criticism. I'm with you there. Thank you, Chunyan Chan, who says, imagine parking the bus against Messi and co. Shaking my head. All right. Look. Did you see how the Argentinians played in that first half? Absolute scumbags. Argent cheaters. Like, pulling on shirts, shoving people over 20 fouls against our team. And then when there's finally a yellow card, it comes to one of our players. Yeah, no, fuck off. Argentina has FIFA on their side. They played dirty. Doesn't mean we didn't make mistakes. Like, Too Cool made us go deep defense way too early. He panicked. I don't know what he's talking about, saying, I don't regret anything. What are you talking about? We lost. Like, we should have been way more on the attack. But anyway, England always lucks its way to the next round, and I guess we just ran out of luck. But there we go. My nemesis, Lord fucking Peasbury, is here. God damn it. The answer may be too spoilery, but do the Stormlanders ever show up? As the world's number 2 Peasbury fan, I'm starting to lose hope. Remind me who the number 1 is, because it's not fucking me, if that's what you're implying. Okay, so we are super chat spoilery? Because there'll be people who want their super chat answered who don't want spoilers. I'm just gonna say the Stormlanders do take part in the Dance of the Dragons. They don't spend the whole war pretending they're getting ready and they don't get ready. They do something, and we'll probably see that something in season 4. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you for the super chat from Lil Corbray, who says, can you give this to Quinn, please? What is it? I can't make that out because it's a yellow emoji and the super chat's yellow because you donated 15 euros. Oh, it's the praying hands. Bless up. Blessed be Quinn. I'll have to give that to him next time I talk to him. I'll give him a little pray. Everyone pray for Quinn. I'm sure some of these super chats make more sense in the context of when they were sent. That's the problem with leaving super chats to the end. The bigger your channel gets, the more you kind of have to put the super chats at the end so you don't constantly interrupt yourself, but it means that there are references to I'm like, what is that referencing again? But anyway, thank you, Rizzler, who says Norway was robbed, so it's karma for England. Fuck off. Norway was not robbed. We beat Norway fair and square. We didn't do any nasty cheating. We didn't have FIFA on our side like Argentina. Norway was not robbed. They put up a good fight. Haaland is based. They were a respectful opponent, and I like them. I like Norway as a team. They were not robbed. Okay? And it's not karma for England. That's crazy. Mad Dog. Nice rage bait, though. Mad Dog says, I was in the airport for episode 3 and England-Mexico game. I was watching Hot D on my iPad and the game on my phone, but I was behind the bars. The bars TV got spoiled. Okay. So my story is that I was, because obviously Hot D drops at 2 a.m. BST, right? British Summer Time. And I was like, and the England match was meant to be 1 a.m., but it got pushed back to 2 a.m. So I was like, do I watch the England game live for 2 fucking hours and then watch Hot D at 4 a.m. or do I watch an hour of Hot D and catch the rest of Mexico versus England versus Norway? Fuck. Oh my god, England versus Mexico. It's late. It's nearly 1 a.m., fellas. Come on. What I decided to do was I watched episode 3 of Hot D. Really stressful, intense, conceptual episode from Rhaenyra's point of view. Straight into the stressful last 40 minutes of England versus Mexico. Oh boy, did I go to bed with high cortisol levels. That's all I can say. But yeah, we won, which was cool. Thank you, Quicksave, who says, glad we have a leader of the Green faction who is a schemer and anti-black. Aside from Ormond, no one else could have possibly fit in that role. Brackets. Sarcasm. Yes, you're right. There's no other character who recently got beheaded who could have taken up that role. Listen, I would have liked Otto Hightower to, as he promised last season, go to the Reach, interact with Ormond and Daeron and Bold John and Unwind Peak and take part in the Reach subplot. For whatever reason, they decided to get rid of him. That is when he dies in the book, to be fair. He is beheaded at the Fall of King's Landing. Part of me suspects that Reese fans, the actor, wanted to dip. Maybe he had other work to do. Maybe he sort of dropped out of season 2 out of solidarity for the actor strike in America that didn't affect shooting in the UK. I don't know, but either way, if we don't have Otto, Ormond so far seems like a fun replacement. That's all I can say. Thank you, Lord Mullendore, who says, why did Dry Devil have to do that to Hugh's girl? I don't know what that reference is. I did my weekly. I did my weekly VC, voice chat watch along. If you join the Patreon and you join the Patreon Discord, every week we watch the episode halfway through the week, assuming everyone's already seen it because there's a lot of soundboard and talking over it and jokes. But we watched it earlier today and people were bringing up Dry Devil. Who is this? He's an infamous robber knight, leader of a mercenary band called the Devil's Pack. Ah, from Kingdom Come Deliverance. Oh, that guy is... Yeah, that guy, that looks just like Sagaric. You're right. That's funny. Thank you, Quick Save again, who says Alan is the goat / seahorse / cat. He's the goat in terms of killing Shrako Lohar. He is the seahorse because he's a rightful Valarian. We'll see if Rhaenyra legitimizes him. And he is the cat. He's bringing in 100 cats to eat all the rats, which is what Otto does in Fire and Blood, but instead it's it's Alan, like, why does a ship have 100 fucking cats? Like, I understand why you'd bring cats on a ship, because there'll be rats on a ship. 100? Or does he mean the fleet has 100? I don't know. Anyway, thank you, Squalor August, who says, Ilya Malinin has to be a Tug, right? What are you talking about, brother? Oh, the American figure skater. I don't know that much about figure skating, I'm afraid. Oh, that is a Tug. Oh, that's a Tug. I've never seen such a Tug. Oh, yeah, no. That is a... That could be Damon's son, I can't lie. Anyway, shout out that person then. Thanks, Longshanks, who says, you see, Daeron, no peasant would ever say no to one of our men because of the implication. Oh my god, no. Okay. Yeah. Ormond does give Dennis the Golden God energy. Like, since it was pointed out, I'm like, yeah, he does have that kind of leaping. He's very mercurial, leaps from calmness to rage, very arrogant, slightly camp and prissy, a bit of a misogynist. Yeah. The implication, Daeron, it's because of the implication. Oh, sorry, Longshanks in the chat is saying Alan didn't mention 100 cats. Sorry, I think I'm just getting mixed up with a book. Okay, yeah, Alan just said we have cats. Let's see them. Let's see the cats in the Red Keep. Someone calling me a Tottenham fan. I don't actually care about football outside of the Euros and the World Cup. I'm not a casual fan. I don't have a specific English football team I support. I support England in the Euros, England in the World Cup, and then I become the biggest football fan in the world. And then when we inevitably lose and it doesn't come home, I just get depressed and lock out of football. However, it's coming home in the year 2028. Fucking what? No, not 2028. Yeah, 2028 Euros is coming home. The next World Cup is coming home. It's just a fact at this point. It's an objective fact. It's coming home. Thank you, Callum, who says, the people demand Ormond's Hightower. I had heard rumors that Dong was going to hang in this episode. I heard that Ormond was going to get out of the bath and the Hightower would be swinging to and fro. We didn't see it, which is a shame. But to be fair, we've had enough dicks from the Gold Cloak locker room, so you know. Let's not have too much of a sausage party. Oh, no, my second monitor is going to turn off. No, don't do that. Thank you, Quick Save again, who says, I think people dislike Ormond killing Kat's brother. What do you mean? Do you mean as in people watching the show, or do you think that people of Tumbleton will be pissed off? I Yeah, I think it's a way of showing his villainy, and it's a way of him forcing Daeron to do something brutal to prove his loyalty. I do personally wish that what he was being executed for was a bit made a bit more sense than just you struck a soldier who we've all agreed is a rapist. Like that didn't quite work for me. Um, I didn't want that execution to be purely calculated and part of his grooming. I wanted it to be. I wanted there to be some kind of cold, weird logic, but also, I can't believe every time I've described Ormond grooming Daeron, Quinn thought I meant sexually. I was like, no, 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 I don't. He calls him a good boy, make no mistake, but yeah, no, I mean politically. Haven, will you make a real Iron Rod video? Someone asks in the chat. No. Sorry, I got distracted by something. No, it's. I knew Iron Rod was going to die this season, but there's not enough of. There's not enough there to discuss. I guess if I were to do real Iron Rod, it would be in the form of a YouTube short. I could do a YouTube short when I'm like, this is Iron Rod in the books. This is what his argument is against Rhaenyra, and in the show, he is a bit more dodgy, and it would be short, but Oh right. Wait, where was that? Yeah, quick save in the chat says they meant to say, people dislike Ormond killing Cat's brother in private. Yes, it's not a public execution; it's a private one, and his body gets eaten. So, are they? Is it that he's disappeared? Are they disappearing him, or are they like, yeah, we've killed him? Because from Ormond's perspective, you could argue it makes sense to be like, we don't want people to think that you can strike a Hightower soldier with impunity when we're holding the city hostage. Otherwise, there could be an uprising. If you strike one of us, you're dead. You know what I mean? We're an extension of the crown, King Daeron. Thank you, a dude who loves A Song of Ice and Fire. Great name. Who says, seeing dead Melees and Rook's Rest gave us something Game of Thrones never did. Seeing the aftermath of a battle, and I love it. I mean, Game of Thrones did show us battle aftermaths, like, the Battle of, what was it, Oxcross? But yeah, no, this wasn't just the immediate aftermath. This was like weeks later, maybe, I don't know how long has passed, maybe a couple months, where the castle has now become, it's like in Skyrim where like abandoned forts get taken over by bandits and we have bandits and broken men taking over Rook's Rest. We have it being run as a strange little fiefdom by this little thug called Janos. Janos by name, Janos by nature. That's all I can say. And of course, Melees' rotting corpse and the head's missing because they transported it back to King's Landing as propaganda. Nice touch, very nice touch. Thank you, Woodland Red, who says, on Quinn's Daeron/Fagon and Ormond/John Connington video, Aegon II reminds me of Fagon's story, Spirited Away by Laris. Oh my god, stop. Sorry, something kept popping up on my screen. I was trying to get rid of it, finally. Where was I? Let's start from the beginning. On Quinn's Daeron/Fagon and Ormond/John Connington video, Aegon II reminds me of Fagon's story. Spirited Away by Laris/Varys, proclaimed dead by the crown. People will likely question each of their legitimacy. That's an interesting parallel. Yeah. Where we have allegedly baby Aegon Targaryen, son of Rhaegar, spirited away, raised to be a noble king, brought back. Everyone will be like, is this guy legit? Likewise, Aegon and Laris escape. He's going to try and claw his way back to power. If he does regain power, people will be like, are you the real Aegon even? Like, you're just a burned guy. I guess you have silver hair, but, I thought we were told Aegon was dead. Are you Aegon? The only thing that would, like, prove he's Aegon, or come close to proving it, would be ownership of the crown. They have the Conqueror's crown. And also, well, if Sunfire were alive, but he appears to be rotting in the ground. Oh, I wanted to talk to Quinn about Sunfire during predictions section. I'll have to do that another time. Thank you again. Rizzler has been sending in a few super chats. Thank you so much. As has Quick Save. I do appreciate it. Rizzler says, can't wait for Ormond's next episode to tell Daeron, drown this bag of puppies while I twirl my mustache. Okay, I'm having fun with Ormond being a campy over the top villain. I think we need one. I don't think it's over the top. I don't think it's mustache twirling. I think it's fun. he sort of, so far, he's kind of coming across as like the Team Green version of Damon. If Aemond is like the try-hard Damon, Ormond is like he's like, Aemond is trying to LARP as Damon, whereas Ormond is like the other end of the spectrum, where he's more serious and he's more stern, and his supremacy comes from a different angle. Like, I feel like he's a fun foil to Damon. Rizzler, thank you, says, hot take, worst king is Viserys the First. I mean, he was a sloppy king, and his inaction led to the Dance of the Dragons, you know. So yes, that's not a super hot take. Oh well, no, it's a hot take. It's a hot take in calling him the worst king, because we had, depends what you mean by worst. Long-term consequences, or like what they actually did. Because obviously Maegor the Cruel was a vicious tyrant and a lunatic. The Mad King was also insane. Fucking Aegon the Unworthy was grotesque, and his actions also led to lots of different civil wars and invasions and so on. But yeah, Viserys the First, worst? That is a hot take, I think, actually. Rizzler says, Ormond will die at King's Landing from the smell. Yeah, Ormond will march in King's Landing and just flop of his horse the moment he rides through Flea Bottom. Oh my god. There's not enough rosemary, not enough lemon water, there's not enough anything that'll save his nose from the stink of Flea Bottom. Quick Save again says, Haven has talked to Quinn about dragon shiz. Listen. Oh, I have. So you're confirming that I have already discussed the fact that dragon shit it should be the same color of their flames and their scales. Tessarian with cobalt blue shit. You're telling me you don't want Tessarian's turquoise shit to land on Ormond's fucking face? That would be incredible. Thank you, Professor Kraken, who says, using a super chat to remind Quinn he's the only person in universe who cares about John Connington. Listen, the fact that we're not seeing any Connington adaptations, none in Game of Thrones, none in Dunk and Egg, none in House of the Dragon, none in the Mad King play, it's becoming funny at this point. Like, I feed off of Quinn's tears. What can I say? Thank you again, Rizzler, who says, we care for John Con and especially young Griff. Well, Rizzler, you know, despite my tirade, my anti-Quinn tirade, thank you for showing support to Quinn and the Quinn heads and the John Con stands. Thank you, Quick Save, who says, Ulf is amazing, and Torrens' line about taxes is so funny. I can't believe Laris just left 2 horses, ravens, and a carriage in the forest. Yeah, that's a good point. Laris and Aegon just fled. They just fled that battle. Like, there is just a... Yeah, they probably should have gotten the horses. But it was in the middle of a battle. They were fleeing because the pirates were still around. Someone's saying we might see John Con in the Mad King play. They've announced the casting, and there is no mention of John Con. But I'll let you know, because I'm going to see the play next month with my friends, and I'll do a little review on my channel, maybe a live stream. I'll let you know how it is. A Doodoo loves Song of Ice and Fire again says, using a super chat to say I also love John Connington. Shout out. Quinn is not the only one. John Snorrington. More like John Sloppington, if you ask me, but there we go. Rizzler, I pray we get the Ormond and Daeron scene. The victory belongs to Tessarion. See, that's the thing. What happens in the book is that you have the Battle of Honeywine, where Ormond's army is saved by Tessarion, and then Ormond knights him, Sir Daeron the Daring, and Daeron says, oh, I'm flattered, but, you know, the victory does not belong to me, it belongs to my dragon Tessarion. And it's a lovely taste of his character. Problem is, we've skipped over. I don't even think the Battle of Honeywine has happened, so it's like... you know, it's a great line. I hope we see it. I hope we have Daeron get knighted. I hope he earns his name, Daeron the Daring, in some capacity. I hope he doesn't already have that. I want to see him earn it. But thank you, Vinicius, who says Tumbleton. Yes, that's Tumbleton 2, Tumbleton. And then Tumbleton 3, if that happens in the show, will be even more tumble. Thank you, Quick Save, who says, is Daemon's plan to give Rhaenyra that guy's head in order to convince her that the OG rider has been killed? Oh, wait, sorry. I got the intonation wrong. Is Daemon's plan to give Rhaenyra that guy's head in order to convince her that the OG rider has been killed and that Nettles has no blood on her hands? Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. As in, if Rhaena does just make herself Nettles and then is like, "Hey, I have now claimed Sheep Stealer and I'm willing to fight for you," and Rhaenyra's like, "Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, it's so convenient that you killed the original rider and then Rhaena or slash Nettles claimed it to fight for me." Maybe I'm seeing it more as like Rey Nettles and Sheep Stealer are just like in hiding, but maybe they'll side with Rhaenyra and be like, "Hey," and then Rhaenyra will work out. Hold on a sec. This is all a ruse. Daemon's betrayed me, etc., etc. But no, she's in. I think the idea is that she's in self-imposed exile. We'll see. We'll see where it goes, though. Thank you, Vinicius again, who says, "Of course, misogyny Haven likes King Balon." Shaking my head. There's a Baelor, King Balon, King Balon. There's no King Balon. Well, there's King Balon Greyjoy, I guess. That doesn't count. Look, I love King Baelor. How was he a misogynist? He wasn't a misogynist. He cared about his sisters so much that he locked them away in a maiden vault so that he wasn't tempted to smash them. You know what I mean? How is that? That's nothing but that's respectful. There's nothing more respectful to women than locking them away so you don't go to town on them. Baelor's a good guy, man. He did nothing wrong. What have we got here? Thank you, Quick Save again, who says, hopefully, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Season 2 will give us some decent and well-meaning lords and soldiers in a Song of Ice and Fire adaptation. Also, I think there will be no Maester conspiracies. Yes, of course, there's a tendency for Hot D to have, to have fun with villainous soldiers and villainous lords and so on. But like, Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, there are some more wholesome characters. And, well, Season 2, we're going to see some interesting characters in the form of Sir Eustace Osgrey and Lady Rohan Weber and so on. That'd be nice. And here we have Rizla the Goat, who has been sending me lovely super chats all throughout this stream and previous streams, and I really appreciate it. But Rizla sent a $99.99 super chat, so there's $100. Thank you so much. That's incredible. That's actually insane. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Rizla says, gotta run, but super chat to pay late Lord Haven and to acknowledge the rightful king, Young Griff, aka Aegon VI. Okay, if you're gonna bribe me with $100, I hereby decree that Aegon VI Targaryen, Young Griff himself, is in fact the rightful king. He is the Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, the King of the Andal, the Rhoynar, and the First Men, defender of the faith and protector of the realm. There we go. That money is going straight on Nando's. That's not true. Thank you so much. Right. See, this is why I want to do... this is why I decided to read the super chats on the YouTube app instead of via Streamlabs, because when you do it through Streamlabs, like, they all look the same and you don't necessarily notice the amount, whereas on YouTube it gives you different colors based on the amount you got sent, so you can actually be like, oh shit, because I could have missed that on Streamlabs. I could have just read that out and missed the $100. That's crazy. Thank you so much. Right, thank you, Raymond Sandamurthy, who says, is Aegon the greatest underdog in A Song of Ice and Fire history? His family, a dozen plus dragons, are against him. Has a king who lost his throne regained it before? Okay, Aegon, at this point of the story, you're right, huge underdog. Everyone thinks he's dead. He's been, he's been burnt. He only has one ally left. That's Larys. His dragon is dead. He's being forced to kiss shit off of someone's boot. Yeah, he's got nothing. He's got nothing. He really is the biggest underdogs here, and that's probably why we root for him, because instinctively as humans, we root for underdogs. When people get too powerful, we kind of want them to fall. It's kind of a not particularly nice trait of human nature that we like people who get high to fall, but we also like underdogs to be successful, and it's this constant cycle. Has a king who lost his throne regained it before? Before the Dance of the Dragons? Let me think. If we're talking Targaryen kings, no. I mean, yeah, you could argue that Jaehaerys lost his throne because Maegor cooed the crown and then he came back and reclaimed it after Maegor's death. But if you mean in terms of... But Jaehaerys didn't sit the throne beforehand, so he didn't lose it. He was never on it. Yeah, no, this is the... Yeah. we shall see what Aegon gets up to. Thank you, Sticky B, who says, would be cool to see the cannibal. Even if it's just the final shot of the cannibal vroom, flying overhead at the climax of the dance, as a bit of symbolism that I somehow missed until my friend pointed it out to me because I'm an idiot. Thank you, Quick Save, who says, Cole might be Daeron's father, but he's Aemon's dad. I don't abide by the Christian Cole is Daeron's father. I don't think that works. But he is Aemon's dad, and in fact, the dynamic between Christian Cole and Aemond, you know, they're colleagues, they're acquaintances, but there is a father-son dynamic because Aemond Cole trains them as a child. Like he trains Aemond as a child and build like there is a there's a father-son dynamic there. Give me a sec. Sorry, I had to yawn, so I muted my mic. Oh, I need some water. Should I get some water or should I blitz through the super chats and get water at the end? No. Thank you, Quick Save, who says Vhagar is playing Mecha Chameleon. Look, Vhagar has camouflage scales, right? Nice and green. Tell me she can't blend into the Isle of Faces. Tell me the green men aren't keeping her sated with old god's magic so she can just curl up and have a snooze, have a honk snoo. Thank you, Cal, who says Boros can't read. Fantasy Haven subscriber confirmed. Yeah, Boros is, of course, the average Fantasy Haven subscriber, the average live stream watcher. Can't read, loves pretty pictures. Basically me. End boss for the JJK fan. God damn it. Don't come at us, Fantasy Haven fans. We haven't read the books. Tyler Clark says, can't wait for Hugh to explain to Ulf how they can unionize to demand better working conditions. Honestly, Ulf and Hugh, I can't wait to see what they do with them. 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. Right, Pioneer says, maybe Cole... Thank you, Pioneer. Maybe Cole will have Harrenhal young Rhaenyra visions. Also, Aegon's character arc seems to be a lesson in humility. I don't think we're getting Kristen visions. I would have loved that. I think they're leaving Harrenhal next episode. They're there, they're leaving. I think we will see Aemond visions, because I think Alice used visions to fuck with Daemon on purpose. She was manipulating him. She wanted Harrenhal. When he rejected her, she's now turned to Aemond. I think we're going to see Aemond visions. We could see young Rhaenyra in Aemon's vision, but that doesn't make as much sense as seeing young Alicent. Daemon saw young Rhaenyra. Maybe Aemond will see young Alicent. Who knows? Thank you for the super chat from Mid Meters, who didn't send a message but just sent in 99 cents. Thank you so much. You're a legend. Thank you, Malcolm Ferguson again, who says, during Aegon and Larys' scenes, there was this one guy with dark hair and a beard who had no lines, but the camera kept focusing on him. I wonder if he's meant to be anyone important. So in the book, there is a character called Tom Tangletongue, and he has a father called Tom Tanglebeard. So it's possible the bearded guy is meant to be Tanglebeard. He just hasn't been name dropped yet. And what those two characters get up to, there's a link to Aegon, and we'll find out in the future. Mort Gaming, thank you, who says, Thailand found a pineapple under the sea. Yeah, Thailand is just SpongeBob maxing at this point. Maybe he's got like a fish bowl on his head, like Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob. That's how he's alive. He's just sitting at the bottom of the sea. Like, I can't fucking move. I'm in plate armor, but at least I can breathe. God, my nemesis, Lord Peasbury. This super chat has 10 likes, so I'm already worried about this one. I found a weird plot hole. In Hot D Season 3, Daeron is Aegon's younger brother, but in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Season 1, he's Aegon's older brother. How did they mess this up? I will ban you. I will ban you. And not just from my channel, from YouTube. A DKK, what's that? Remind me. That's Krona, right? Danish Krona. Lord Peasbury, I will have you deported from Denmark. I don't know where to, but you're going. Like, I will get my revenge on you for this bullshit you send me every time. Wait, who responded? All right. Aemond Targaryen, the one and only, said, just wanted to throw money at you guys. Thank you so much, Aemond. Shout out. And of course, if people here are watching my streams, make sure you also watch Quinn's streams, because we do these. We jump between channels, right? We do one episode discussion on my channel, then on his. So he's done episode 1 and 3. I've done episode 2 and 4. He'll do the 5th one, etc. So make sure you check out Quinn's channel as well. I'm saying that all of you know Quinn's channel. Quinn's bigger than me. Why am I shouting him out? Thank you, Gino Callis, who says, thanks for all you two do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll pass the message on to Quinn. And if Aegon does use Sunfire's scale to kill, would that be considered a blood sacrifice to resurrect his dragon? That could be kind of fire. That could be kind of fire. Well, just like, as I said, he like shanks Janos's throat with one of Sunfire's scales and the blood on the scale, and like maybe he slots it back in like a puzzle. Sunfire gets back up. Maybe. But probably not. It wouldn't make sense to me. Aegon's story is not one of magic. Keep the magic stuff to the like Harrenhal. That's where the old god magic is being set up. I don't want magic being thrown into a story or character where it doesn't belong. Like when people are like, Littlefinger is connected to the old gods. That does not work for Littlefinger. That would not be narratively satisfying in the slightest. Yo, who's saying Emma's acting isn't bad, it's just act out? Okay. I thought it said it's bad acting. I was going to be like, what? Yo, there's someone called Hustlebones in the chat who is the king of just delivering bad takes. And we need those kind of people in the chat. I'm very happy that I have a diversity of opinion in the chat. People who agree, people who disagree, people who debate respectfully. I really enjoy that. We need good takes, bad takes, weird takes. That's what the chat's all about. Who said ADHD off the charts? How respectful. I mean, how disrespectful? What do you mean? I'm talking like a very focused and sensible person right now at 1:08 a.m. rambling here, there, and everywhere. Right. Oh, people are saying Emma Darcy's an overactor. Completely disagree. I don't know how you can come to that conclusion. I disagree. Because Koful, thank you so much. My Mexican brother says, what is your opinion on Daeron being manipulated and emotionally abused, just as Alicent was? Is that a Hightower family thing? That's another interesting parallel. I don't think... Okay, the Hightowers are clearly a family of callous schemers in House of the Dragon. Look at the way Lord Hobart treats Otto. Like, you know, you're my underling. Do as I say, Lord Hand, to make sure Aegon sits the Iron Throne. Get our blood on the throne. And then Otto, of course, treats Alicent callously and, you know, manipulates her and makes her seduce the king, tries to get that marriage going on. And now we have Ormond, Lord Hobart's son, manipulating his cousin Daeron and, you know, clearly treating him in quite a nasty way. In quite a manipulative way. Yeah, I think it does seem to be... yeah, it's the Hightowers using fellow humans, including their own family members, as pawns on a Savas board, I think. And maybe we'll see some fun Savas politics chess analogies in the next episode. Haven, we need to stream with Michael. I would not be opposed to streaming with Michael Talks About Stuff. We played Jeopardy together in Glider's video. He's a great guy. Check out his videos. Bro, the people saying that Emma Darcy overacts. Okay, sure. Sure, why not? Mort Gaming says, I understand Rhaenyra saying no to Ulf's favors, but to totally ban him from seeing his pub friends is silly. Ulf would have been a good proxy to gain favor with the people of Flea Bottom. Yeah. She's being... Well, she's being rude. She's just being dismissive. She's not treating Ulf and Hugh with much respect. Just your commoners and your foot soldiers for me. Even though Rhaenyra's sort of also trying to respect the small folk, but that seems to come more from a place of don't let them turn against me, but she hasn't got the same attitude towards Ulf and Hugh. So far, it doesn't seem too... So far, it doesn't seem that forced, but I hope it doesn't reach the point where it's like... she should know better. You know, they're being too disrespectful or whatever. The thing is, totally banning him from seeing his pub friends. From her perspective, she probably doesn't even understand what that means to him. She's probably like, "Oh, you go to get fucking drunk with some scumbags in a tavern? Like, no, you belong to the crown. You're gonna stay safe. You know, lovely linen sheets, lots of gold. You're staying safe in the Red Keep until you're sent out to battle. Like, you don't need to go to some dirty tavern." Like, she doesn't understand what he gets from that. Yeah, she should have been like, "You can't go to the tavern, but you can invite your friends to the Red Keep under supervision, and you can hang out with them." But yeah. Yeah, people wondering about Quinn. Quinn dipped. Quinn had to go. He's a tired boy. He's working hard. A couple of weeks' time, he's got to do the bar exam. That's terrifying. I'm sure he's going to smash it. Yeah. But I'm here to finish off the super chats because I refuse to end a stream without going through every single super chat. I don't want to be disrespectful. If you're giving me money supporting my career, and it's my stream and I'm hosting the stream, I've got to finish it. Thank you, Kofel again, who says, spoiler. I think the fact that Ormond punished the man who assaulted Hugh's wife is the reason he switches sides, because in the show he comes across as a pretty honourable person. Oh, that he might hear from Kat that, oh yes, Ormond Hightower punished my wife, and Hugh will be like, oh, but that doesn't make sense because they're also going to hear that Hugh murdered Leo. He executed Leo, so that doesn't add up. Yeah, again, where are we going with Hugh? Where are we going with Hugh? We'll have to see. Thank you, Dansk person, who says, Maegor's worst nightmare is the 8th Amendment. See, if Quinn were here, I could be like, remind me what the 8th Amendment is. I think I know, but I'm just going to double check. Is it the... Yeah, protects individuals from being subjected to excessive bail, excessive fines, or cruel and unusual punishments. Yeah. I guess you could argue the cruel and unusual punishment is what happened to the people who built the Red Keep for Maegor and then vanished because they knew all its secrets. Thank you, Pioneer, who says White Grove reference equals Unwin Peak reference equals House Peak reference equals Mervyn Peak reference. 100% true. This is the first Peak reference we've got actually in any Westeros show. The only Peak reference we've got so far is White Grove, which is one of the 3 castles owned by House Peak. House Peak has 3 castles on its sigil, 3 black castles and orange. They own White Grove, Dunstanbury, which used to belong to House Manderley, and Starpike, which is their main seat. Although over the course of the Targaryen reign, they end up losing their castles, and by the main series, they only hold on to Starpike, which itself is like, the fact they're even still alive as a house after the amount of rebellion they do is kind of insane, but there we go. Thank you, Kofu, who says, Orwell has survived longer in the series politics than the last 8 prime ministers of the UK. Honestly, get Orwell into number 10. Although the Archbishop of Canterbury may be at risk, so maybe that's not the best idea. Thank you, Sam School, who says, Aaron's dogs had Targaryen-coloured hair. Did they? Are you telling me Jane Arryn had Targaryen dogs? Ooh, okay. She's been breeding dragons and canines. That's crazy work. Benadryl says, Mushroom is trustworthy source of information. Extremely true. I can't even argue against that. What do I even say to that? Thank you, Quicksave, who says, I thought Jane's dogs were goats on first viewing. Now, why would she be surrounded by goats? She is the goat, but come on now. Lady Aaron mocking Daemon for his previous comments. Oh, Lady Aaron being surrounded by goats and sheep because she knows Daemon famously says that the men of the Vale fuck sheep because they're prettier than the women. Being like, oh yeah, I'm surrounded by sheep, Daemon. That would have gone hard, but I also like her sleek dogs. I like her sleek dogs. Oh no, did I say trustworthy source of information? Let me rephrase that previous super chat. Trustworthy source of misinformation, which is also true. He is simultaneously trustworthy and not trustworthy. Such as the curse of Mushroom. Yes, Quicksave also says, also sucks for Nettles, but Rhaena and Daemon was a highlight for me. Who did Caraxes recognize? I think it could be both. I think it's a mixture of Craxes recognizes Raina, like, oh, it's Damon's daughter. We've met, probably. I can smell her. And also, it's like smelling a dog. It's like, oh, I smell a wild dragon. Let me check him out. Thank you, Quick Save, who says we need a Quinn/Haven bingo and should tick off Quinn being American, Haven mentioning lesbian sex. Okay, I mentioned it once this whole live stream. Jane Aaron is a lesbian in books, or at least rumored to be. She has a lover called Jessamine Redfort. I mentioned, look, the show doesn't want them interacting, doesn't want them getting it on. I mentioned it once, okay? That's not a bingo thing. Also, Quinn being American, I don't think Quinn goes around just saying he's American. He just is American. You just have the fact he's American on a bingo? Come on now. Technical faults, text box arguments, etc. Okay. In your defense, technical faults. That's more of a Quinn livestream thing. But text box arguments also... Okay. Also Quinn livestream. Because Quinn doesn't have Streamlabs. Like me, where we have a lovely... Twitch chat, although actually that's white text on white text, so that actually looks gross. I'm gonna change the... Wait, should I move the text box right now? Oh. I'm gonna move the chat box so it doesn't look as gross as it currently is. There we go. Does that look better? Does that look better, Kings? What say we? What say we? I think that looks better, right? No, it doesn't. That's still impossible to read. You know what? I give up. But yes, no. Quinn has the big like YouTube chat box where it's big, bulky and black, and it like blocks half the fucking screen, and like all the captions and the fun pictures in the back get blocked out, and it's just ugh. Anyway, yeah, feel free to take that off your bingo now, because I've complained about it even though he's not here. Thank you, Ray, who says, I saw someone compare Ormond to Dennis from It's Always Sunny, and I can't unsee it now. Yeah, the second I saw that comparison, I was like, that's incredible. Have I made it worse? How have I made it worse? It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. You know what? I'm going to change what the type of chat box is, because it is just... Hold on. We're going to do boxed. There we go. That's easier to read. There we go. My humble apologies. Yeah, the big red subscribe is that kind of... You know what? I give up. Everyone's a damn critic. I don't see any of you running YouTube channels with nearly 90k subscribers. 90k? 100k in a few weeks. That's what I'm talking about. Right, what's going on? Yes, the Great Splodge, what a name, says Ormond getting out of the bath equals Dennis stripping in front of Wally in the suburbs. Yes. Half expecting Ormond to go, and just fucking flex. The whole thing's a daydream. Oh, incredible. Callum says, how long until Dennis Hightower meets Rickety Aegon? Oh my god. I don't even think Aegon looks as bad as late stage Rickety Cricket. Like, he genuinely doesn't look as bad as, like, late stage Rickety Cricket from Always Sunny. That's crazy. Because Kofu says the characters in Fire and Blood are designed to mirror characters from the main saga. In this case, which knight represents Bronn? So Perkin or Tom? I disagree with that analysis, that they're designed to mirror characters. I don't think they are, and even though there are a load of interesting parallels to be made, and History of Westeros has a whole series called Parallel Lives, where they will, like, compare, I know, Kristen to Jaime Lannister. That's a random example. History of Westeros did interview George R. R. Martin, and they said, do you deliberately make parallels between a main Song of Ice and Fire characters and Fire and Blood characters? George said no. He said, no, because I don't like to repeat myself and copy myself. I like to make characters from scratch. That doesn't mean he doesn't repeat his own tropes, because, you know, he's drawing from one creative well in his head and he's going to repeat himself, but they are not deliberately designed to mirror. Maybe there are aspects of them, but, like, it's not meant to be a one-to-one. That's not... Like, he's explicitly said he doesn't like doing that. And no, the quote is not BS, Kenny. I don't read Fire and Blood and go, oh my god, this character is clearly this. Like, no, he's making characters from scratch. There's going to be some similarities, because he sometimes repeats his own tropes, but there may even be a couple of moments where you're like, oh, this is kind of similar to this. But he is not just being like, this is my Jaime character, but in the past. This is my Cersei character, but in the past. This is my Tyrion. This is my Jon Snow. That's not how he works. Like how he doesn't do one-to-one historical comparisons. He doesn't go, this is my Henry the First. This is my Henry the Fifth. Like, yeah. But yeah, if we were to compare a Bronn with a character, I think Perkin works. A Perkin the Flea, up jumped, sort of cutthroat, who rises to power uh meteorically, you could say. Um thank you, Renerials, who says Renerials sounds like a Targaryen name that George left out of Fire and Blood. Ulf bringing the Queen of Bastards is interesting because it's not even just about her sons, it's also about Hugh. Ulf and Adam not being made legitimate. I mean, Hugh and Ulf, that's true. Hugh and Ulf aren't asking to be made legitimate. They're not asking to be legitimized as Targaryens because that's a step too far. But Adam wants to be legitimized as a Velaryon, and Corlys wants him to be a Velaryon. But yeah, it's probably going to make her less likely to legitimize the Velaryons if people are still pushing the bastard propaganda. Obviously, it's not true. We all know that they are. We know that Joffrey is Laenor's true son. Oh my god, Joffrey! Can we see Joffrey? Can we have Joffrey appear so we can just fucking remind people that Joffrey exists? Ulf bringing the Queen. Oh, sorry, I've read that one. Ocean Olive Lich, if I probably pronounced that terribly, was waiting for Daeron to get knighted by the bloody sword. Seemed fitting. Oh, I wouldn't have liked it if he'd knighted him there. I want Daeron to be knighted for an actual brave and act. Like the ironic Daeron the Daring would feel like a bit too much of a, okay, bro. Sure thing, bro. Like I let him actually be knighted for bravery in battle. I don't want the daring to be ironic. Let Daeron be unironically a brave, wholesome chungus. Is what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Longshanks, who says more than John Con, I get Frollo / Quasimodo vibes from Ormond and Daeron. Ooh. Some people said it was implying outright SA. I don't think it goes that far. Oh yeah, so sort of yeah, because John Con and Young Griff, that's not super manipulative. Like they're kind of using each other, and there's clearly like a kind of John Con has like a love for Young Griff because he represents Rhaegar, his unrequited long lost love. So, but he's not like abusive towards Young Griff, whereas Ormond is clearly that's toxic as hell. Yeah, it's got that Frollo Quasimodo, like you're a freak and you're gonna do what I say. Like fire, dragon fire, there's burning in my skin. Yeah, no, I don't think it was implying SA. I think there was, and I'll just say the words. Actually, I'm not gonna turn those words into a little thing I shy away from. Sexual assault. I think there's as I mentioned before, I'll reiterate, there's an uncomfortable intimacy between James Norton and was it Ben Ainsworth? Between Ormond and Daeron that almost tilts towards a mildly sexual undertone. Which I don't think is intentional. I don't think there's no sexual element to their dynamic, but the way it's portrayed, the kind of gross intimacy, it's there to accentuate the political grooming theme. Is what potentially, unless I'm misreading it, but I think it's more of a performance thing than an in-universe thing. It's kind of like we want people to be uncomfortable when Ormond touches his cheek. It feels beyond familial. Thank you, Pioneer, who says they could have given Daeron a white streak in his hair like Valar. But that is also something that would have been cool, but that's also something that would have been known to people. Like the Daeron body double, the fake Daeron needs to have the same hair as the real Daeron. It doesn't make any fucking sense. People will know what his hair color is. It will be said. Was he sent off from Old Town before he'd grown his hair out as an infant? And even if that's the case, Alison's seen his hair. She would have told people about it. People in Old Town would talk about it. There would be portraits of Daeron. It would be a known thing. Like a Targaryen not having silver hair would be actively known. Like, come on. Do Love Song of Ice and Fire says, spoilers, will Ormond die this season or next? Okay, if people don't want to be spoiled, I would say please mute for the next 30 seconds while I talk about Ormond. Mute in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, so in Fire and Blood, Ormond dies during the First Battle of Tumbleton, and his death leads to a power vacuum within the High Tower host, and this power vacuum leads to all kinds of chaos and rape and nonsense, and the vacuum's filled essentially by Hugh and Ulf and their dragons. That leads to the formation of the Caltrops, John Roxton, Daeron, Unwind Peak, etc., etc. So that could happen at the end of the season. However, because he's such an interesting villain, do you want to kill him off this early? No. So I can see them keeping him alive, just so that he can go into the next season, and maybe they'll do something else with the Caltrops, or maybe they'll abandon the Caltrops. I think it's up in the air. So we'll have to see. Thank you, Channel of Ice and Fire. Okay. Again, this is not stuff to talk about via Super Chat. Just thank you, Professor Kraken. Maegor slander will not be tolerated. Listen. You know I'm Maegor's strongest soldier. I just have to pretend. I don't want his agents coming to... I don't want Jaehaerys's agents coming to slice my throat. Right? I gotta pretend I hate Maegor. But you know where my loyalty really lies. Thank you, Pioneer. Using a super chat to say, who the hell is John Connington? Like, who is he? And why do people keep talking about him? That's a great question, Pioneer. I don't actually know who he is. Quinn keeps talking about him. Apparently he's a ginger. Apparently he's gay. He's really lame. His crush doesn't like him back. Lol. He's turning to stone. That's pretty cringe. He's not even in the Mad King play. He's not even in the TV show. Who even is he? Like, yeah, I'm with you, Pioneer. Thank you, Quick Save, who says, YouTube tying super chat costs to character limit sucks. Yeah, I promise I'm not trying to give an aneurysm to either Quinn or yourself. No worries, Quick Save. You've got a lot that you're trying to tell us, and I appreciate that you've sent in quite a lot of super chats and you're like showing your support and it's helping the channel. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if Streamlabs has a character limit or if you could just send as long a message as you want. Maybe I guess there's a limit, but I don't know if the limit affects like how much you send, like whether, I don't know, but maybe check out Streamlabs next time, see if you can send more with a lower amount. Thank you, Mayo Nation, who says, excited Mushroom's future employer is on the small council. Yo, Torrin Manderley has a story ahead of him. That's all I can say. I'm excited to see more of Mr. Manderley. Has anyone considered a tax? I assume so. I assume there are already taxes in place. I guess he's saying like an extra tax. We shall see. Taxing who? The small folk? Who you're giving handouts to? From wealth you've appropriated from the nobility? Who can you tax them because you've just taken their wealth from them? The higher nobility? Well, you want them on your side, so who the fuck are you taxing, Torrin? I guess it doesn't matter because they're planning on throwing him under the bus anyway. And thank you, Cather, who says, Ormond gives me major Dennis Reynolds vibes. He even looks like him. Yo, everyone keeps... The Dennis Reynolds comparisons keep piling up. This is brilliant. The smug superiority with the serial killer vibes and temper tantrums is just perfect. I love Ormond. He's so fucking cool. I remember seeing one comment somewhere where someone like, Ormond is like the perfect early modern French noble nutcase. Yeah. There we go. Okay. I believe that is the most recent super chat. Okay, well, my screen's frozen. I'm going to go on to Streamlabs so that I can... I'll go to Streamlabs so I can go to Streamlab donations that were sent in. And let me just... Okay, because my YouTube screen did freeze. Yeah, no, that was the most recent one. Let's see. Do we have any Streamlabs? Do we have any tips? Bum, ba bum, ba. Oh, no. No, we don't. Bum, ba bum, 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 bum. Super chat, super chat, super chat. I'm sure I noticed a donation earlier. The word super chat doesn't even mean anything anymore. It looks so... Ah, there we go. A tip. Here's the thing with Streamlabs. Sometimes your name will come through, and sometimes it won't, and the name will just come through as like a string of letters, like a random ID. So if you sent this... If you're still in the stream, please let me know who you were in the chat. Thank you. They're asking, where's Quinn? Where have you been? Quinn has been gone for like an hour. Quinn went to bed early to have warm milkies and hug a hot water bottle and wear striped pajamas and a big fluffy nightcap. He can't handle staying up late. It's half 1 a.m. for me. It's early evening for him, and he has to go to bed early. He's training to be a lawyer, guys. Come on, he can't be doing these massive streams. Don't you worry. Once he's become a lawyer, once he's passed the bar, we're gonna have Alt Shift X, Quinn GM, Dragon Time, 5-hour streams, or else I'll be furious. Right, yes, but this person who sent in a tip, let me know who you are, said, a Song of Ice and Fire question. Do you think Littlefinger knows about Fagon, given the Kettle Black's time in the vague Essos mercenary company, aka the Golden Company? A few jumps here, but Jamie in A Storm of Swords notes that their time in Essos and vague knighting is strange. That's interesting. Yeah. Mate, honestly, that's an interesting link I haven't even thought about. Yeah, Littlefinger might know about the Golden Company and their Fagon scheme through the Kettle Blacks, although I would imagine people who know the people in the Golden Company who know about Fagon are probably the high-ranking ones. It's the sergeants and the captains and the paymaster and so on. Captain General. It's not going to be like lowly Kettle Black Gold Cloaks. Like they won't have been high enough in the ranks to know about that. But it's possible. My instinct is Littlefinger probably doesn't know, but maybe his spy network expands further than I thought. Okay. I think that was the main donation. I'm just double checking. Oh, another tip. Thank you so much. Again, again, unfortunately, the name hasn't come through. It's just a string of numbers, and I'm really sorry for that. So let me know if this was you. But they say, "Hey Haven, thanks for saying I can still donate at https://streamlabs.com/fantasyhaven1/tip, so you could get 100% of the donations. Super cool. Thank you. You're welcome." Have I mentioned that if you donate to Streamlabs, in the description I get 100% donations and YouTube doesn't take half of it? I just thought I'd mention that. Oh, someone said Hustle Bones, the man of spicy takes, says growing. A Song of Ice and Fire channel's growing as show viewership trends the other direction. Show viewership is not descending. Like House of Dragon is not as successful in Game of Thrones and never will be, but like the viewership for Hot D is high. Like it was definitely damaged by the incompetence of the ending of season 2, but like it's high fucking viewership. But yeah, no, Song of Ice and Fire channels are. I think this series keeps getting multiple wins. Like when I started Fantasy Haven, I almost thought, is it too late? Have I like joined the have I jumped into this too late? But no, I came in at a good time, I think. Okay. Any other donations? No, just the 2 donations for Streamlabs, and I believe that is all of the super chats. I think we've caught up, fellas. Ladies and gents. There we go. So, pretty successful stream. I liked that episode. Who wants to know what I'm getting up to? So, the episode 4 quickie, I apologize for it taking so long. Yeah, stuff getting away, but episode 4 quickie is going to release tomorrow, early tomorrow. I'll give you a second. Thank you. It's going to release very early tomorrow. And it'd just be a very quick slideshow screenshot review, because if I do clips and try and make it more fun, HBO will demonetize me, and I hate putting loads of effort and work into a video that gets not just demonetized, but HBO takes all the money from the ads that it continues to play on the video, so that sucks. So there we go. And so the quickie will come out tomorrow. I'm also probably going to do a episode 5/weeks ahead prediction stream tomorrow. What's the day today? I'm actually lost. Oh shit. Oh, it's Friday. Holy fuck, it's just gone Friday? Really? Oh my god, I'm so far behind. Oh, I'm so fucking far behind. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, no, we got this. Over the weekend, I'm probably gonna do live stream with my friend Alex. They are a normie. They've not read Fire and Blood, and I keep saying I want to stream with them and chat about some fun, fucking ask for their opinions and their predictions and stuff for the future of the show. They know nothing about Fire and Blood. That'll be fun. It's meant to have been every week, but things haven't worked out. But hopefully that'll be this week. And on top of that, I'm also working on the 20-minute animated history of House Hightower because, well, the Hightowers are playing a big role. I got the script and the assets ready, gonna start animating. I'm hoping I can get it out before episode 5. If I can't, then it will drop next week. And also next week, I'm going to try and work on a Tully video. So, you know, I've got a few more in the bank. Hightower, Tully, Harrenhal, maybe some book versus show character ones I don't want to spoil, but there we go. And yeah, I will see you next time. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Like the video, comment, hype, do whatever you want to do. Check out my videos. Check out the merch store. I have t-shirts, I have baseball caps and beanies and hoodies and really fun mugs, and it really helps support the channel. And I do need to do a merch revamp. I need to have some more fun designs. I've got a fun one of like the Kraken Kaiju of Euron Greyjoy versus the Hightower Mecha robot, but like I want to have some more fun ones. I'll work on that. I'm also going to try and work on pumping out some YouTube shorts to bring more eyes to the channel and to do shorter videos like History of House Celtigar that doesn't really belong in a big video, or just to have clips of videos as like trailers almost. I'm just rambling now. What else? Oh, and the Patreon. If you want access to the Patreon Discord where we do VC sessions and we just kind of chat and banter and talk about Hot D and stuff, go ahead. You also get early access. You get access to like teasers of drawings, and there's a couple of exclusive videos in there and all that stuff. So that helps support the channel. Yeah, love you guys. Thanks for keeping the channel alive. This was a great stream for donations. I really appreciate it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Many more videos to come, and we're gonna hit 100K. We're gonna hit 100K. I think that.